occasion here. Must-win game for Malaysia, but let's look at some of the positives from that performance by Malaysia, which was the first game of the tournament. And I have to say, Virendeep Singh, tall bat, very, very nice on the eye as well. He scored 66 off 63, 7 fours and 1 6 for him, and he was very much the star of that innings of 131 all out.
Yeah, he played very well. The strike rate was over 100.
And yeah, let's just have a look at the two sides we've got. Malaysia line up as follows. Ahmad Faiz, who's the captain. Virendeep Singh, of course, the star we've just talked about. Mohammad Nazril, Syed Aziz, Shavin Munandai, Pavandeep Singh, Sharat Ramli, Mohammad Amir Azim, Vijay Uni, Mohammad Wafiq Irfan, and Amar Zudi, the wicketkeeper. And the Push Sports Delhi, Mayank Gupta, Mrigank Patak, who's the wicketkeeper, Aditya Jain, Abhishek Agarwal, and Indo Nahara, Jatin Singhal, Pranay Prasad, Ishan Pandey, Vivesh Sasora, Harbhajan Pugat, and Sparsh. And I have to say, I think, based on the two games we've seen so far, this could be quite a tight game, but a must-win one, of course, for Malaysia.
Yes, it might be a very tight game, but looking at the first match today, the armed police force, they were bundled out for 76 and easily chased by the UP11. So it'll be very interesting to see what approach will be.
Yes, Push Sports have chosen to bat Paresh, and you talk about that approach, and let's talk about the kind of score they'll be looking to put on the board. What are your thoughts here? I know we talked about 150 on the first day. 150, we haven't got anywhere near that in this tournament so far. 139 is the highest score thus far. What kind of score do you think you need to have to be competitive?
Let's say around 130, 140 will be very competitive. If the Push Sports Delhi score those runs around 130 to 140, it's a very good chance they will defend that total. I say it's 95%.
Yeah, we've talked about the matchups of the two sides. We've sort of talked about some of the stars of Malaysia 11 in that first game. Well, let's talk about some of the stars for the Push Sports Delhi side. And, well, the big one that stands out on the card, looking at this, Sachin Kumar Singh, 6 for 20. You don't see that very often in a T20, Paresh.
Yeah, you don't see that. But he's not playing today.
Extraordinary, I know. I mean, why would you leave out a player of that caliber?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and a big one.
Yes, and just to say that we've got a slight change to the schedule for tomorrow. The first game will be the Armed Police Force versus Talent Hunt Dhaka. There'll be the first game tomorrow, so a slight change to the original schedule. And then second up, we'll have the Malaysia 11 versus Nepal Police Club, and that'll be pretty much be a dead rubber for Malaysia 11 unless they can get home today. But that side, of course, ranked 33 in the world. You'd expect them to put in a bit of a performance this second time round.
Yes, definitely, Johnny. They should perform well. They should, get down the Push Sports Delhi as much as low total, let's say around 100 or even below 100. If they can do that, it can be really interesting to see the chase.
Yes, it will indeed. And we've seen the umpires and the players of the Malaysia 11 go out to the middle. And now we see the two very combative opening batsmen that we saw in that first game, Aditya Jain and also Mayank Gupta. And they got things off to a terrific start, didn't they, in their first match, getting over 50 in that power play. And actually, they were one of the most positive forces we've seen in this game so far, Paresh.
Yes, they got around 59 in the power play, if I remember correctly. Aditya and Mayank Gupta.
Yeah, it was a big partnership. I think the biggest power play that we've seen in the course of this tournament so far. 38 and 23 respectively for the openers. And I wonder if they'll be looking to do exactly the same today, Paresh.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see that. Muhammad Waif Irfan.
Yeah, both very effective, you
He's
have to
going to
say,
start
in
the
those early ages.
proceedings.
Just having a look at these pictures from the middle. It'll be Mayank Gupta who will open or take the first ball. And the bowling will start up here from the pavilion end. That's where we'll be kicking off from. The umpire's just checking a couple of things. It'll be Mohammed Wafiq Irfan. He'll be the man who'll take the first over up from this pavilion end. And the man on strike will be Aditya Jain, who is wearing 69 on his back. Batted really nicely in that first game. Both these two, if they got off to that kind of start, actually, Malaysia could be under a spot of bother, because we know chasing's not easy, without a shadow of a doubt, especially if you get something on the board. We think, dare I say it, anything above 120, 130 is fairly competitive here. And this Malaysian 11, well, having gone down already in that first game, will be looking to get a win under their belt. And it's Mohammed Wafiq Irfan he'll be operating up here from the pavilion end, and with that looking a slanting run out, and it looks as if slanting run up, and it looks as if we're ready to play. And here we go. Gentle left armers and just push down the ground, and we've had a dot ball just coming in off about 5 or 6 yards. A very leisurely stroll in, Paresh, a little bit like you in your prime.
No, I was a bit quicker than that. Yeah, it's an attacking field with a floating slip and short cover, extra cover for catching.
Oh, he's getting away already. It's short outside the leg stump. And he's carrying on where he left off in match number 1. And Aditya Jain gets a big 6 out, just through square leg. What a lovely shot that was.
Yes, he did. He picked the length very quickly and pulled the ball for boundary.
1 bounce 4, in fact. A solid start, though. And that's a sign of major intent there, Paresh. Irfan in again, and that's a decent ball, actually. Just running it down through the slip cordon. Gets away for a single.
Yeah, Aditya was a bit surprised with the ball. Didn't know what to do. Just kept the bat to the ball. Guided to the slip. There was a misfield by the slip fielder, and he was able to take a run.
Yeah, that'll bring in Mayank Gupta, who also had a pretty good performance with the bat. 23 off 17 in his first game. And both these two, you think, will look to do exactly the same as they did in that first match. Irfan again is in. Looking to cut, a swing and a miss outside the off stump, but it's too wide, and they can ill afford that ill discipline really at this stage.
Well, I didn't think that was too wide to be given a wide. Oh, it was. My apologies.
Yeah, just nipping off the seam a touch outside those guidelines. Nicely played down to third man by Mayank Gupta. He'll jog through for a single.
Yeah, this ball came in, and the Mayank Gupta adjusted his shot, played it late down to the third man region for a single. Good batting.
Well, we've had a lot of cricket between that first game on Friday. Malaysia have been away for a while now. And it's good to see them back on the field of play. They've been training most nights here, coming down to the ground at about 5 o'clock. Defended very neatly indeed by Aditya Jain. You know, I have to say, looked very, very tasty in that first game. Really big, competitive, sort of heavy bat at the top of the order. Oh, he's gone for it again. He might be in trouble, though. Oh, good catch.
Ball.
Good catch in the deep, and it's Varandeep Singh. Varandeep Singh, who's a very capable pair of hands.
Yes, it was a very good catch. Running towards the ball, taking the ball above his head. That's a beautiful catch.
Yeah, good catch. And Malaysia have their first scalp, and it's a big one, because probably one of the most fluent players we've seen in this tournament so far has been Aditya Jain, and he goes.
Let's see again the catch. Over his head. Beautifully done.
Yeah, very nicely taken indeed. He was up there a while. And Abhishek Agarwal will be the next man in. Coming to the crease. And that was the end of the over as well. 7 for 1 off the first. Vijay Uni will be bowling up from the market end. And he'll be opting. Needs a slightly bigger pair of trousers, Vijay Uni. Against the left-hander. Mayank Gupta. He's just eyeing up his options, and there's a slip in place as well, Paresh. So they are starting to cramp this side. Sensing an opportunity are the Malaysian 11. Yeah, right arm round. They get a single away. Looking to push it away from that left-hander.
Yeah, good batting there by Mayank Gupta, clipping that from his legs for a single. The bowler bowling down the leg side. He didn't get a turn.
Yeah, looking to keep these left-handers honest. That's the one that goes on with the arm. They get through for another quick single. Good tight stuff this from the Malaysian 11. Wickets in the power play, Paresh. We've seen it all the way through the course of this tournament. You get one or two early, it becomes very, very difficult, doesn't it, to try and get ahead.
Yes, it's very difficult and difficult pitch to bat on.
Just nudge down to third man, and nudge very nicely indeed. That will run away. A lovely bit of batting. Superstar from Mayank Gupta. He gets a boundary.
Yeah, that was a delicate touch, I must say. Just guided that to the third man boundary for 4 runs. Mayank Gupta, a delicate touch.
Yeah, nice bit of batting. Very nice bit of batting indeed. Just use the pace of the ball. Tossed up and flighted outside the off stump. Mike Gupta has nothing to do with that one.
How often do you see a batsman leave in the T20?
Oh, an inside edge onto pad. I think that's what possibly saved him there. Yeah, the lead, we've seen a few of them, haven't we? And I think, you know, the fact that we are dealing, Paresh, with scores of 120, 130, being competitive in this. Yeah, just looking at that. Big stride in, but a little nibble, I think. Back live as it's pushed out on the offside. End of the over. 13 for 1 after 2.
Yeah, there was an inside edge.
Yeah, noticeable change there.
That's the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, well, 6 runs coming off the previous over. Abhishek Agarwal will be the man on strike. And Mohamed Wafiq Irfan will continue trundling in, Paresh, isn't he? Wide of that off stump, just those left armers, just putting wide of the left-handers off stump.
Nothing shot by the batsman there. Agarwal, his feet didn't move at all. Just fished the ball, lucky not to get an edge.
Yes, he was indeed. That's a nice looking shot, but only get as far as backward point. Yeah, Mohamed Wafiq is certainly not expending a great deal of energy out there, Paresh.
Yes, he's not. A very short run up. And
in the air, another one that stops, and timing has been difficult, Paresh, hasn't it? The thing is, you need to bat a bit of time on this surface to get used to the bounce and also the pace in which the ball comes on. Just a punch off the back foot, back of a length again. Tight stuff from Mohamed Wafiq.
4 dot balls already. Batsman a bit under pressure now.
Wide ball.
Wide, that will be given wide, even though they swung in on the angle. Still miles outside those blue lines.
Yeah, he wanted the ball in Akhada, but it went way wide with his arm though.
Little punch in the offside, but very difficult to time anything here. But Paresh, there's no, you know, obviously it's lovely to get off to a warm start in the power plays, but there's no major onus with what we've seen in the game so far. Short, and that's cut. And that's cut really well. It's a lovely bit of work down in the deep, down at third man. Terrific stuff. Saves a couple of runs.
Vijay Uni does a very good job there in the third man region. Saved 2 runs for his team. Beautifully done. Very well fielded.
Yeah, great stuff. 16 for 1 after 3 overs.
Jain out for 5 of 5 balls. Gupta there, 6 of 6, and Agarwal 3 of 7. They have 9 wickets in hand. Vijay Uni 1 over 6 runs. Mohamed Wafiq Irfan 2 overs 10 runs for a wicket.
Oh, shout for LBW. Oh, that was tight. A little bit of bat is the suggestion.
I didn't see any bat involved there. It was pretty close.
Yeah, very close indeed. Very close indeed. One of those kind of, well, hitting leg. Umpires call it a push.
Definitely bat not involved there.
Yeah, I think I'd have gone up for that, Paresh. I've been probably pretty disappointed how I not have got it either. Nice bit of stuff from Vijay Uni. He's operating round the wicket to the left-handers. That's the trick, isn't it, in T20? Just where possible, get the ball going away from the bat, Paresh.
Bowling in good areas. Uni. Yet another very good length that is bowling.
Yeah, Vijay Uni, a former under-19 captain for Malaysia. Just feeling his way in the game. One of the many youthful players we have across the squads here. Defended nicely. It's been a good set, this. Have we got a maiden? We have. Terrific stuff. 16 for 1 after 4. Very tight. Yeah, Pavandeep Singh, who bowled pretty well in that first match, is into the attack. 4 overs for 25 in that first game, but it was a little unlucky, to be fair. Probably a little bit more expensive than he might have wanted in the context of the game. Abhishek Agarwal will be the man on strike. It's been a fairly ponderous, slow start so far. Shot down the ground. There'll be just a single, as that's fielded quite nicely just below us by Shavin Munandi.
Yeah, apart from the first match that Push Sports Delhi played, they scored 59 in the power play. Now they are 17 for 1 in the 5th over.
Yes, it just shows you how much more difficult the conditions have gone. And that's a wild Yahoo that's spooned out in the leg side. They'll get through for a single. But yes, of course, in the early phases of this competition, the pitches were a little easier to bat on, but they've taken a lot of cricket in baking hot conditions over the last 4 days, and batting, it's safe to say, has been hazardous at every single opportunity. Driven out on the F side, especially against these left-handers, or the left-armers, I should say, and they just keep on coming. And here's another one in the shape of Pavandeep Singh. Tossed up and driven, but not timed. It's been the story of the day so far.
Yes, we can see the example. He didn't let the ball come to him. He just went after the ball. That is why he didn't time it.
Better shot. Will only get as far as mid-off. They'll get through for a single. Yeah, tight stuff here. I guess the good thing from a Push Sports Delhi point of view is they haven't lost any. Well, they've lost just the 1 wicket so far, but they've still got nine wickets in the hut. Well, that's a big shot down the ground. And he's got a good piece of that. And he goes all the way. Top shot. Top shot, you have to say, from Mayank Gupta. End of the over, 25 for 1 after 5.
Let's see that. Down the track, goes with the full face of the bat and hits it for a maximum. 31 sixes till now. This is the 8th match of the tournament. Fantasy Akhada Pro Club Championship 2022.
One of the big ones, Paresh. He'll push down the ground.
That was pretty well played. He hit a 6, the last ball, and just pushed it down to long on for a single. That is the way you should go about it.
This is Vijay Uni, former under-19 captain for Malaysia, will continue. Oh, almost bowled him. Wasn't a million miles away from that off stump. And it's a nice bit of bowling again. Oh, little leading edge. They'll get through for a single. Good stuff from Uni. None for 7 off 2.1. And well, the Malaysian spinners are starting to exert a bit of control here, Paresh.
Yeah, they have, and Vijay Uni doing a pretty good job. Well batted.
Yeah, nicely played. Oh, looking to play it delicately. Is Ibishek. Agarwal. Oh dear. And we got overthrows. Oh, that is irritating. Oh, the Malaysian 11 are going so nicely, keeping things fairly tight. What they can't really concede is a moment like that. It's Mohammed Amir Azim who's the perpetrator on that occasion.
That was totally unnecessary from the Malaysian team.
Yes, I think he always would have been home, Paresh, wouldn't he? Just looking at that replay again. Oh, looking to run that again. It's not a high-value shot, that, is it? By Abhishek Agarwal.
6 gone. Push Sports Delhi, they are 31 for 1. Totally unnecessary. He shouldn't have get rid of the ball so quickly. The batsman would have been home.
Yeah, that completes the power play. 31 for 1. To be fair, it's a base. Paresh, it's nothing particularly exciting, but it's a base nonetheless. Going along at 5 and over. Key thing is...
Yes, Syed Aziz now coming into the attack with his first over, and the team's second, 7th over.
Yeah, and Syed Aziz intends to mix it up a bit, doesn't he? Safe to say. Little seamers. Little gentle right arm stuff, just pushing the ball away from the left-hander.
I must say it's a very good batting by Delhi Push Sports.
Yeah, wickets in hand, Paresh. We've seen all the way through the course of these matches that wickets in hands are so important, are they?
There's a quick single. Oh,
that might have been tight.
Hit.
We've gone upstairs. What have we got here? Well, they charged through for it. I have to say, I thought it was a little bit more comfortable than I was led to believe. How confident? Well, I have to say the Malaysian 11 look really confident. And there could be trouble here.
Yeah, Gupta called for a run. He was out of his blocks very quickly. He's in, not out.
Yeah, I thought it was a good single. Those are my thoughts. He's home quite comfortably in the end. Understandable why it went upstairs, but it will be given not out.
Because Mayank Gupta was out of the blocks very quickly for a single. That is why he made it.
Yeah, I think that while we wait for the decision, the point I was trying to make, Paresh, was that a lot of runs have actually come in middle-order partnerships through the course of this game. Now, that's come out of necessity because often the top order have tried to sort of play against the conditions, if you like, get off to warm starts. They've lost wickets continuously through the... Just seeing a replay of this, and it's squeezed away on the onside. But there you go. But yeah, the point just worked well on the onside. That will be more of a comfortable single. But the point I'm trying to make is that actually what you really want to do in these conditions, and yes, of course, you know, getting 40, 50 off a power play is manna from heaven, but actually you're quite happy if you keep wickets in hand, rather than those middle order partnerships at the back end of the innings. If you have frontline batters who are set, then really the world is your oyster.
Yes, exactly, Johnny. That is what they are doing. They are taking singles, doubles.
We see another single there, don't we? Run down to third man. But I mean, you know, I'm more than happy with the way in which they're going about proceedings here. Take the runs on offer, Paresh. You don't necessarily have to mix it up at this stage.
Yes, and even you don't have to take a risk or play a foolish shot to get out. Just throw your wicket away.
Yeah, 4 runs already off 4 balls.
White ball.
There we go. You get a wide into the mix as well, and to be, you know, this is it. I think, just look at this, a million miles down the leg side. That's a horrible ball in any form of cricket.
You can get minimum of 7 runs in an over. 6 runs with the bat, and eventually you'll get a wide or a no ball or anything else.
I think you're absolutely right. I think at the moment, I like the look of this. Already off this over, we've got 5 runs including the wide. I'm very happy with that. There's still a ball to come. This is the extra, of course, and 36 for 1 after 6.5. In the context of this tournament, this is a very, very solid start. Yeah, happy with that. 5 off the over. And the end of the 7th, Push Sports Delhi are 36 for 1, and we'll have a change in the commentary box as Andrew Leonard will join us once again.
Welcome, Lenny.
Thank you very much, Tony. Good afternoon, Tony. Good afternoon, everyone. Reaching the halfway point of this Pro Club Championship now. And we see a nice late cut that's going to be fully rewarded with 4 to the total. No slip in place, so it's a reasonably safe shot. And it's a very good piece of touch batting.
Yes, this is what the Sports Delhi's batsmen are doing. Playing it late, playing in the vacant area, and getting the boundaries, all boundaries, singles. That's the way you should go about it.
Feels like the antithesis, the opposite approach to that of the Nepali side this morning. This is pretty close, probably just pitched outside leg. The sharp turn again making it reasonably difficult to get an LBW decision in your favour. Take a look. Oh, that is pretty adjacent.
I guess it was pitched a bit outside leg stump.
Big high backlift from the left-hander, beaten on the attempted cut shot. Malaysia playing for their tournament lives here.
That's not out. I think that was different. Drifting a bit on the leg side.
This is close. Let's take a look. Pitched in line. Impact in line. Maybe just skidding on to miss leg. Very close. Beautifully bowled again. Despite the boundary from that first delivery, an outstanding over full of high quality off spin bowling from Vijay Uni. That'll get us to the end of the 8th. It's 5 and over. It's 40 for 1. Here's a look at the points tables, and this is the reason why Malaysia are in a must-win scenario. And the reason for that, if they lose today, Group A and Group B will be wrapped up after just 2 rounds of games in both groups. And we'll know the 4 semi-finalists. We'll still, of course, complete the group stages to work out who will win the groups, because the winner of each group will play the second in the other group. So first in Group A will play against second in Group B, and first in Group B will play against second in Group A. But if Malaysia do win today, with the net run rates all much, much tighter in this Group A, everything is possible, and the chaos theories start to come out, as do the calculators.
Yes, it surely does.
Big strike into the offside. There should be a chance for mid-off. He nestles back and he puts it down. Pretty poor effort from Mohamed Nazril. I'm not sure he's even got a hand on this in the end.
Yeah, Shahid Aziz bowled a very good one. I think that was a poor effort.
Don't want to call this a regulation chance. It wasn't, but look at his footwork. Got to get those legs pumping. Doesn't even end up getting a hand on it, really, Mohamed Nazril. That's a chance without doubt. Edged away this time. Third man is pretty square, and the drop chance, as so often is the case, will be punished by a boundary from the very next delivery.
Yes, like I said, anyhow run banao. That is what that is what Push Sports Delhi are doing at the moment, with the courtesy of missed catches from Malaysia 11. They've moved to 46 for 1. The Push Sports Delhi team.
Here is that drop chance, and you could just see the initial movement. You've got to be so quick when you're in the field and anticipating, and he should have realised immediately that that ball was going airborne, and he's got to make the hard yards early, anticipate the chance of a catch. That's exactly the opposite of what he's done, and as a consequence he's made what was a tricky enough chance into almost an impossible one.
Yeah, and Andrew, we were talking about the approach, the intent from the first day till this morning. That is what the Delhi Push Sports are doing.
Oh, direct hit would have been very close. And I think the fielder knows it, doesn't he? Sharvin Muniandi, who we didn't get to see the other day with his death specialist bowling. He's picked up really cleanly. First instinct was this might have been out. I could be wrong. Let's take a look. Picked up cleanly. Throw comes in. Oh!
Very close, very close.
Just because his bat was in the air, I think. Very, very tight.
He plunked the bat in. He didn't drag the bat. That's what
So as we progress towards the halfway stage, Vijay Uni has finished his 4 overs allocation. He's going to complete with 1 maiden, none for 16. Now we're going to see a 5th bowler used. Still no sign of Sharvin Muniandi, which is a bit of a surprise given how consistently he's used for the national side. And it's going to be Sayadat Ramli to come in around the wicket with his off breaks, and he's got the 2 left-handers to bowl to, so that's a real advantage.
Yes, it is. Even if you're a part-time bowler, off spinner, if there are 2 left-handers in the crease, so you bring your part-time bowlers off spinners.
Pulled into the leg side, should just be a single.
That was a long hop. I think he missed on that one. Mayank Gupta and strike.
Thuds into the pad. This one's going to miss leg, and the non-striker wants a single, but he's sent back by Mayank Gupta.
Yeah, very optimistic appeal. Definitely missing the leg stump.
Good swift footwork from the keeper, Amar Zudi, who keeps that to a dot. Right on the money, beautifully bowled. It's amazing, isn't it? Like you say, even if you're a part-time spinner, if you can get it in the right areas on this wicket, you do pose questions of the batter's techniques, and that one's just spun and bounced off a length at a nice gentle pace. It's actually a pretty good pace to be bowling on this wicket, pulled into the leg side for one.
And the main thing is that he's not pushing the ball in, he's giving air. And he's bowling slow. The slower you bowl, it's very difficult to hit.
Cut away. Again, there is protection, but this time it's going to be at least a couple. He should run back for two.
Muhammad Amir Azim, the fielder there, covering a lot of ground. The halfway stage is gone, 10 overs gone, 52 for 1.
So here's a look at some of the batting highlights from the first half of this innings. There, 52 for 1, that was the sole wicket to fall. A really good catch from Pawandeep Singh. He clung on very well indeed, but since then Mayank Gupta and Abhishek Agarwal have built nicely. They've been chancy at points. That inside edge just saved what would have been certainly the second wicket. A couple of tight LBW appeals, and we've seen a good platform. Hasn't been many good platforms set this week, but the Push Sports Club of Delhi have got themselves into a nice space here, and I think at 52 for 1, they're not just thinking north of 100, they should be thinking north of 125, maybe up towards even 140, one of the higher scores we've seen in the tournament. That would have been close with a direct hit, but instead it was overthrows in a big way, and Ahmed Faiz, the captain, wasn't too happy.
Yeah, that was totally unnecessary. And this one was also close, but the batsman dragged the bat and he was safe.
There's a little bit of touch shown. The two left-handers, they've combined nicely. Their strike rates pretty healthy, 75 and 85 respectively for Gupta and Agarwal, and you'd have to think that if the Malaysian 11 can't take some wickets, speaking of wickets, this should have been the second wicket with the drop catch running back from Mohammad Nazril. They could find themselves in trouble and chasing down more than a run a ball on a wicket that hasn't proven conducive to scoring and scoring quickly. 5 bowlers used so far, and we're just about to see the 6th, because I think the skipper has said enough is enough. Give me the ball. You boys aren't doing the job. And Ahmed Faiz, I suspect, is going to come on himself. You just see him warming up and looking for someone to give the cap to. Very welcome along to the coverage, as always. You're watching live on AP1 HD with me, Andrew Leonard, alongside Paresh, Tony Lahani, as we've got to know him over the last little while. Good old Tony. He's having a whale of a time here in Barrow, aren't you, Tony?
It's pretty hot. Extremely hot. Thanks for the repairs, men, that we have. The AC turning on.
So, back live with you now for the second half of this first innings, and the part-time off-spinners of the skipper have been dispatched into the deep. I'd love a counter on the number of balls after the drinks break that have gone for 4, because it feels like it's almost every time.
Yes, it has, and it was a long hop. The batsman had no
It's much more like it. Beautiful drift. Dip and turn. That's the perfect off break at a very nice pace. The problem is bowling at that pace, if you do drag it short, you're going to be punished. But that was beautifully bowled. Just quick through his deliveries, and the batter is fully entitled to pull out and turn away. Surely a wide outside the off stump, yes.
Yeah. Wisely wide given by the umpire. It was wide.
Seeing something of a rarity for Ahmed Faiz, because he's actually never bowled in a full international match. Cricinfo even has him listed as a leg spinner, would you believe? But I can guarantee you they are not leg breaks, they're off breaks. 26 T20I appearances for the captain, alongside 5 List A and 26 T20 games for his nation. And they're really pretty friendly off breaks, but a good bit of work in the deep will keep that to just a single.
Sure. Dot Romley, the fielder there, doing a very good job.
Yeah, nice work from Ramley. It's an old-fashioned cow corner, that fielding position. I think these two left-handers are saying, now's the time to go. These are very friendly part-time off breaks we're receiving from Ahmed Faiz, and now's the time to start to capitalise on the hard work we've done in the first half of this innings. What are you thinking of from here, Tony? You're out there in the middle. You've got 9 overs to bat with the score 59 for 1 at the end of the 11th. Are you now thinking 140, or is that too ambitious?
No, 140 is too ambitious, but they have to keep on batting like this till the 16th over. Gupta on 29 of 32. Let's add the bowling card. Ahmed Faiz 1 over 7 runs. Syed Aziz 2 over 13 runs. Pawndeep Singh 1 over 9. Let's go.
Just made a quick note in my black book in front of me, Tony. 142 ambitious, quote unquote, after 11 overs. We'll see where we get to. I think these two left-handers are going to go right at it now, and they're going to try and capitalise on this excellent start.
Yeah, it's an excellent start, but if you lose a wicket, because these two are set now, if you lose 1 or 2 wickets in quick succession, then it could be a totally different ball game.
Using their feet nicely and just working the ball around really well. Going to be more runs here, and that is a shocker. It's an absolute howler down there at Long On. That should have been stopped every day of the week, and instead he's almost palmed it over the boundary. 4 to the total instead of what would have likely been a couple of runs down the ground. Look at this.
Yeah, he actually guided the ball to the boundary with his hands. Look at that.
We'd have a pretty healthy blooper reel for the outfielding, wouldn't we? So far, and he strikes back. Beautifully bowled. Lovely use of the angle. No real turn this time, just maybe a hint. And good reward for what's been some pretty good off breaks. With the batter dismissed and paying the price, Mayank Gupta.
Yes, Ramley doing a very good job. The ball going with the arm, going in and completely beaten Mayank Gupta. And he's hit the stumps with the bat. I think the match referee is watching that.
I didn't actually see that first time. That'll be very interesting. Let's see if we can see that again, because the match referee could be in action for the second time in 2 days. He was cleaned up, clean bowled, went on to hit off stump. Watch this. Cannot do that. Oh, he's hit the stumps. That's big, big trouble. I believe that's catered for under the Code of Conduct. The ICC Code of Conduct that covers all cricket, and that, at a minimum, is a level 1. You can never knock the stumps out of the ground. Mayank Gupta, I know he was frustrated. You can't do this. Not good enough at any level of the game. Terrible example.
Very, very terrible. And he apologizes to the umpire.
Too late to do it then.
Yeah, too late.
Just don't do it. Be frustrated. Don't have to take it out on the timber. Off stump was rocked back. It'll bring
Pathak.
3 to come.
Yeah.
Going to bring the number 4 to the crease. And that will be the captain, Mrigank Pathak.
That was pretty well played with a straight bat to long on for a single. He opens his account.
Gets off the mark immediately, yes. 65 for 2 in the 12th. And Pathak will be pleased with the platform he's entering at. This one's short and wide and cut away. Going to be just a single. Good work in the deep.
Yeah, Agarwal is set now. He knows the pace of the wicket now. Even though if you're set, it's still hard to score runs here. If you bowl well, if you bowl on the light length.
We haven't seen many batters come in and score right from the off either, so that will give the Malaysian 11 some hope. They're probably still thinking of trying to restrict their opposition to less than 120. I still reckon the Push Sports Delhi side are dreaming of 140. 12 gone, 66 for 2. So just the 1 over of the part-time off spin of Ahmed Faiz will be replaced by another part-time spinner. This time it's Virendeep Singh into the attack. He'll bowl his left arm spin. I think he's been brought in because of the entrance of the right-hander to the crease, who he'll get to bowl to now.
Yeah, that was well done by Agarwal. Playing it late, guiding you to the short third man for a single. A quick single. There was a bit of a fumble by the fielder. Virendeep Singh got 66 runs from 63 balls in his first match.
Yeah, and they're going to need another performance like that from him to keep them alive in the tournament, I suspect. He's also the 7th bowler to be used, so lots of different options have been turned to. One of the issues for Malaysia was that sole over of Pawandeep Singh, who we saw open the bowling in all of the T20 internationals there in Kathmandu, that tri-series that the home side Nepal were victorious in. He only bowled the 1 over coming on first change and went for 9. So instead they've turned to his brother, to Virendeep, the 23 and the 24-year-old brothers. Both great assets for this Malaysian 11. Oh, this is beautifully bowled. I don't think there's an edge involved, just sharp turn. Virendeep Singh's bowling looks better than the part-time status that we've assigned to it.
Yeah, and he's a bit roundish kind of an action. Like Ravindra Jadeja.
Squared it away. Going to be runs on the offside, but Sharvin Muniandi will save the boundary and keep it to just a couple. Yeah, maybe a shade of Jadeja to the action. Does come very wide of the crease as well.
You're still up for 140, Lenny?
Just saying, that's what they're looking for, Tony. I think if they're looking for less than that, they'd be wrong. We've got a great platform here. Going at 5.5 and over. 7 overs in hand after this one. And also 8 wickets up their sleeves, so plenty of time for these two to go large between the skipper and the well-settled left-hander, and so nearly the 3rd wicket. If a regulation first slip was in place, that's exactly where it would have gone. Instead, he was floating around 1.5, 2 slips Poor placement, and it's cost 4 runs and a chance at the wicket.
Yeah, it goes so quickly. If it's stuck to your hand, it stucks, but you have no chance. Much needed boundary for Push Sports Delhi.
13 gone, 73 for 2. The positioning of that slip, though, is what I want to talk about. Why, with a left-arm spinner bowling quite round arm and flat, would you have your catcher almost at a second slip gully as opposed to a regulation spin catching first slip, which is exactly where that ball would have gone?
He should have been a bit finer.
Nicely bowled, good seam position again. Agarwal's kind of playing the anchor role, isn't he? You sense that Pathak is going to be the one to attack for the Indian team.
Yeah, and the good example of Agarwal's batting is that he's playing late. He saw the ball, waited for it, and just clipped it off his pad for a single.
You can see he's definitely playing the aggressor role, isn't he? This is a tactic. And a misfield in the deep is going to allow a second. Another poor piece of fielding. Even the intent not particularly good from the fielder after he fumbled it. More runs conceded.
Yes, very ordinary fielding by the fielder there, missing the ball. Again, the throw was haywire, and the bowler missed it.
Big shot into the leg side. I think he's got more than enough of this to soar for a maximum out of the ground. Here we go. 1-4-0.
Yeah. This Push Sports Delhi might put on a big score here. Big score means 140 or even 150.
Just remind you, Paresh, after 11 overs with the score at 59 for 1, quote unquote, 140 too ambitious, said you. What you say now?
Well, still, if a wicket or two goes, then we'll have to settle for 110, 120.
Come on, Paresh, when you get off the fence, you need to stay off the fence. You can't jump back onto it. Come on. Heaved into the leg side, little agriculturally. Gonna try a second. This could be a run-out chance. Direct hit would have been gone by miles. And the bowler himself has got into no kind of a position to collect the ball. Sayadet Ramli, he really should have been right next to the stumps, whip the bails off. That would have been the third wicket. Instead, it's 2 more runs to the total.
The fielder there. It was a half volley throw. He should have given straight to the bowler.
Another big hit. This one's smashed down over the head of long on. Going to be 6 more. I think 140 was under ambitious.
Yes, lady. I must say that the Pathak has played pretty good, and he's changed the momentum of the game.
The hunt for 150 is on. They'll need 60 off 6 to get there. It's the 33rd 6 of the tournament. Great diving effort in the deep. We'll have a commentary change now. I'll leave Tony to go lick his wounds, and I'll welcome back Johnny Barron to come and join me. Giving poor old Paresh Lahani fierce stick over the last 2 days. The 9 duck record brought up, and now a rather ludicrous shout on a predicted score. Have to probably stop pushing him. Got a bit too harsh on poor old Paresh, aren't we? Well, me, not you.
Like a lamb to the slaughter, isn't he? Bless him. But that's the problem, isn't it? When you come out and put a figure on the board, and then of course the momentum of the game changes. Yes, this game can make a fool of all of us.
I just had to write it down. I had to make sure it was there. 59 for 1 after 11, 142 ambitious, he says. And who knows, he could well be proven right. Sharvin Muniandi can't affect the run out. He comes into the attack. He's still fighting a good fight there, Paresh. Trying to argue his point. We'll have to wait and see how this will play out. But I do think, joking aside, Johnny, they'll be disappointed with less than 140 from here.
Well, I think they've gone about it in a brilliant fashion, to be perfectly honest. You don't have to go, like the clappers, if you like, in the power play stages. The absolute key to this, as we've seen in all the cricket throughout, it's all about keeping wickets in hand and ideally getting one or two players to bat deep in the contest or bat deep in the 20 overs. That's the critical aspect with this.
And the key thing is, like you say, if you get one or two people batting deep, you then give the opportunity for someone to come in and hit and target the vacant areas of the ground in these latter overs. No side's gone like the clappers really from the off. You have to have a platform, but there's nothing wrong with these wickets outside of the fact they're turning and offering great assistance for the spinners. We're not seeing uneven bounce in terms of one popping through at a height and then another one shooting low. We're just seeing turn and lots of it. If you've got an approach and a method to get through that turn, you should be all right. We see liquids being taken on board. Welcome along again to me, Andrew Leonard, Johnny Barron. Johnny, approaching the halfway stage of the tournament. Can you believe it?
Yeah, amazing. It's been fantastic, hasn't it? We got here on Thursday night, didn't we? You, of course, took the plane over the mountains. Was it Thursday night, I think? We got here Thursday night. You took the plane over the mountains. I took the bus, which took just 12 hours. I mean, barely a scratch.
When was that, Johnny? I can't remember. Starting to lose my mind in the heat, I think, bit by bit. Good to see Sharvin Muniandi being brought into the attack. He is that death specialist for Malaysia. Could only bowl 3 overs, though. Overs 15, 17 and 19. But yeah, it's been so enjoyable up here. Highlight of our day yesterday was a little trip up the main street after play to visit the local sugarcane juice man. This one's heaved into the leg side. High, handsome, but out. And going to be well held. The number of people we've seen caught in the deep trying to look for big hits. It's Amir Azim, who I'm really surprised we haven't seen much of with the ball. In fact, we haven't seen anything of him with the ball. He holds on to a very good catch, coming low and forward.
Yeah, good grab. Really good grab. Just hasn't quite got enough of it. And he had to make about a couple of yards away to his right-hand side. But it was always dipping on him, but it was a good grab in the end. And that's the key thing, isn't it? Need some decent out cricket. But what I would say is that there's still wickets in hand and there's plenty of cricket left, isn't there? Still, 5.4 overs to go. That's a lot of balls.
Agarwal dismissed with this catch for 26. Halfway through the 15th over. The score 92 for 3.
Yeah, the new man in is Ishan Pandey, left-hander. Another useful bat, actually, in that middle order. Still plenty of batting left. That's been the key of this approach, is they've got resources in the shed at this tail end of the day.
Muniandi in. And just again, we've seen most of the Malaysian seamers really just bowling off half their run-ups, a little bit like Karen KC and Sampal Kami have been. Slippy conditions, not in their usual element, so they've just been bowling within themselves a touch, trying to use their experience and their smarts as much as their pace.
Absolutely. I think the variations at this stage is the key. Ishan Pandey got 21 off 25 in the first game, so he's had a look at the surface, he's had a look at the conditions. He's got a platform to use as well.
Hit down the ground towards the long on field. It will just be a single. That'll get us to the 3/4 mark of this first innings of game number 8. of the 2022 Fancy Akhada Pro Club Championship. The score, 5 to go. It's 94 for 3.
With a completion of 15 over, total score is 94 for loss of 3 wickets.
Five to go. And it's going to be, finally, Amir Azim. You're not going to believe this bowling card in a moment, because I'm pretty sure this is the 8th bowler to be used. How many times have you seen that in a T20 match?
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, pretty much everybody's had a go, haven't they? Apart from the wicketkeeper. Mix it up. Just Vijay Umni is the only person who's bowled his full allocation of 4 thus so far in this innings. Spread it around a bit, safe to say.
Swing and a miss. He's a real talent, this youngster. In fact, 3 young Malaysian players were brought into the team for the first time for international duty for this tour of Nepal. And all 3 of them made their T20I debuts. I felt the pick of them was this young left-arm all-rounder. Good batter as well. He bowls with good control. And certainly, I suspect that he's got a big, big future ahead of him.
Yeah, he looks a good talent. And it's a surprise, to be honest, to see him involved this late in the piece. Not a great deal of cricket left in this innings.
Oh, that's a beauty. Stuff of dreams for a left-arm spinner. No idea why we haven't seen him till the 16th over. Drift in, pitches on leg stump, beats the bat, beats the outside edge, evades the off stump. Oh, I think he'll be clipping that one up to replay and just watch over and over. If you're ever in a bad rhythm as a spinner, watch that one over and over again.
Wow, it's almost the perfect delivery, isn't it? If you can pitch it on leg stump and then beat the off stump, you know you're in rhythm, aren't you? Because that is, it's kind of, you're looking for almost the millionaire ball, aren't you? And the one that pitches on the stumps and then takes the outside of the off bail.
Fuller this time, and the drift away from the left-hander means that no run due to the swing and a miss. 4 to go, 97 for 3. We have the spinning conditions here, Johnny, to produce a ball to end all spinning balls. We really do. We talk about the ball of the century, the Shane Warne, the drift in as Gadding watched it to his leg side and then it opened up his off stump and hit the top of off. Are we going to see one?
Well, you could easily. Mike Gatting, bless him. Just completely bemused by that one, wasn't it? Shane Warne's first ball in Ashes cricket in England. And actually, on that occasion, I think Mike Gatting actually stood around because he just couldn't believe it. Actually clipped the top of off stump, and he walked off with a rather rueful look, didn't he, as he wandered back to the pavilion.
Also arguably one of the greatest pieces of understated commentary of all time from the late, great Richie Benaud. I'll recant it to you now. Almost certain the exact words were, "Well, he's done it. Mike Gatting has absolutely no idea what's happened to him, and he still doesn't know."
Richie Benaud. They just don't make him like that anymore. Without a shadow of doubt, the greatest broadcaster that ever lived. In any sport, in any context. The most wonderful, wonderful talent.
Thuds into the pad, big appeal, given not out. The brilliance of that piece of commentary, we talk about the art of what we try to do, Johnny. You're trying to aid the pictures. This was close. Probably height is the only thing that saved the batter. It's definitely pitched in line. And some of the great mentors I've had have just say said to me, say what you see. And if you look back at that Benno piece of commentary, he's actually describing exactly what's happened. He has done it, and then the camera turned to Gatting. He's absolutely no idea what's happened to him, and then Gatting gives a brilliant look back towards the bails. This one's hit very firmly down towards the long on fielder. It's gone with such force, it's going to carry all the way for 6. That's an incredible strike and a wonderful piece of timing from the left-hander.
Yeah, it's a cracking shot. Gets close to the ball, that's the key. And it's a ball of full length as well. But it's a lovely flick, isn't it? Not the length you want to be, but it clears the boundary about 2 or 3 metres. Lovely batting.
Really good strike, that. And that is Ishan Pandey, of course, who we haven't even welcomed to the crease yet. The local Nepali talent who's spent something like 45 days down in the academy that's taken under the stewardship of head coach Puru Singh, who was part of the Everest Premier League winning coaching team 6 or 7 months ago. And obviously Ishan Pandey thinks the world of Coach Puru Singh. I know many of his students do. The facilities that he has there in Delhi. Oh dear! This could have been very nasty. We've been critical of some of the fielding. You can't criticise this, because this has taken a hop at extreme pace and easily could have cannoned into the head of the fielder.
Yeah, this isn't your worst nightmare, to be perfectly honest. It's literally the last bounce, and it could have cleaned him up completely. From a health and safety point of view, it's actually lucky it just did go to 4 rather than rattling into the fielder out there. Horrible moment.
One of those ones you've actually probably done well to avoid as a fielder, and it's the youngster as well. I'm very glad he hasn't come to any harm there. No chance, absolutely no chance of stopping that. And it runs away for 4, firmly struck by the skipper. This partnership continues to develop. Pathak now 32 off 19. And these two are looking right on course for that 140. They'll need about 10 and over from the last 3. Pandey will not be able to get it back past Azim, but because of the misfield, they'll end up getting the single.
Yes, another single added to this score, which is coming along quite nicely, isn't it? 109 for 3. That run rate is up and above 6, which is, well, we haven't seen that a great deal during the course of this tournament. Just looking at that replay again, just... Oh, a full toss. And that's latched onto, and that disappears behind square for 6 runs. It's a horrible ball, and it disappears out of the ground again.
Doesn't head coach Puru Singh love it? And rightly so. He's chosen very wisely in his captain, Mrigank Pathak, who's dispatched this one for a maximum. Like you said, it wasn't a great delivery. Just 19 years of age, this skipper. Heaved into the leg side, 6 more. Back live now. Good batting, another misfield. I think Pandey wants his captain to come back for 2, and he's going to get there comfortably. Great work from the keeper. He's flicked it onto the stumps. And I just wonder, could this be quite close? Amar Zudi's been energetic behind the stumps, and 1 short is the call. So the best case result here is 1. In fact, it could be a dot and a run out, would you believe? Explain that one to me, Johnny.
Well, there we go. It's one of those where actually on first look you're thinking, you know what, this looks a good piece of running. But it was a good throw, a tidy bit of work by the keeper. And the big question is, has he made his ground? That flick, was it enough? We'll get a little glance at the pictures in a second. But yeah, 1 short is always careless in any form of cricket. Always annoying as a bat as well. Oh, I think he's home. Let's have a little look at this. Difficult to show. Yeah, he's home, I think, by about 3 or 4 inches.
Home,
athletic stuff, though.
Yeah, sorry, Johnny. Home, but only just. Brilliant work. Really was, wasn't it? Very like the sort of Dhoni-inspired flicks and deflections that would seem him almost trademark in the way he does it. So to Amar Zudi. Not out, not out, not out is the call, and rightly so.
Yeah, excellent bit of keeping. Quite inventive as well. He's got a lot to do there from a wicket-keeping point of view. but I felt it was a good 2 runs, and actually it wasn't really, was it? Because it was a 1 short, which is always careless.
Yeah, just a note to our scorers that that's a single to the total, not 2. And then you've got to remember that the same batter is on strike, who would have been on strike with a 2. It can cause chaos in the scorer's room anytime you get a 1 short. 1 short with a run out, though. I think it might have been just time to tear up the scorebook and walk home, leave it to someone else. Down the leg side, thuds into the pad. I think that's probably going to miss leg. No bat involved. Leg buys will be given.
And this partnership is starting to build up, isn't it? For the 4th wicket. It's worth 26 so far.
No timing from Pandey this time. Talk about Pandey's last over. You were lucky enough to be on call for it. Do you think there'll be any scarring for him from that? So nearly going down to conceding those 18 or 19 runs that he could have. He held his nerve in the end, though.
A shout for LBW, but yeah, well, he did. He did just about. First ball disappeared for 4, then the next 2 went for a brace of 6s, and at that point, to be honest, you felt, well, can he drag it back? And he did. The last 3 balls were a masterclass, really, to defend that position, to defend 19. I think that's the thing with cricket, isn't it? Even though you've disappeared for 3 boundaries in a row, you've got to keep your nerve, because you never quite know what's going to happen. You need to keep in the game, and he did. If anything, the fact that he managed to defend that position from what a horrible start, the first 3 balls of the over, I think that's probably more of a benefit going forward than a negative.
There's the state of play, meaning that if Malaysia can't chase down this total, and I think already we're staring down what would need to be the highest total chase down in the tournament, they're going to be knocked out, and we're going to, after 8 matches, have already decided our semi-finalists, which is pretty rare, particularly given how closely fought this Group A has been. Going to be highly impressive Mohamed Wafiq to close out the 19th over. He'll bowl his 3rd. I think it's fair to say Ahmed Faiz has taken the licorice all sorts approach to his bowling choices today.
A little bit like a Sunday game, isn't it? Everybody getting a bit of a dart from either end.
Nicely bowled the cutter. They're going to try and run one. Oh dear, look at this. Surely it has to be a run out. Oh no! Oh no! Clip it up. Get it up onto social media. We should have had 2 run outs at the keeper's end, then at the bowler's end. Instead we've got none, and somehow we've got a bye to the total.
Oh, it's a horrible bit of cricket. It's not a bad looking slow ball bouncer, but both batsmen at the striker's end, and he's just got to hit the stumps, or even just run to the stumps.
It in. You just need to walk it in. You don't even need to do the jaunty roads. It's done. Walk it in. Take the bails off. Mohamed Wafiq, what were you thinking? Never seen the like of it. Pulled it leg side. I need to hold it together here. I'm not sure I'm getting through today, let alone the rest of the tournament. What's going on out there, Johnny?
Oh, God, look at this again. He's got hours. Hours. I mean, the batsman's not even in the frame at this stage. What was he doing? What was he doing? Oh, dear. That was a shocking bit of cricket. Absolutely appalling at any level of the game. Not what
Here we go.
need, really.
Walk it in. Don't throw it. I said don't throw it. Oh, no. You throw it to your mate if you're going to throw it. Don't throw it at the stumps. Oh, God. What's just happened? Mohamed Wafiq has somehow not put... my head's on my head. Been on my head the whole time. What's just happened? How has he not run him out, Johnny?
Oh, dear. It's a shocking bit of cricket. And he follows it up with a wide for good measure.
Nicely bowled. Good skills with the off-cutter. And it's not been easy for the keepers with the slower balls being so effective and taking so much grip. That's a bye. I think the keeper thinks it's the end of the over. It's not the end of the over. In the meantime, Push Sports Delhi still trying to fight up towards that 140 mark.
Oh, they are indeed. And they're going quite nicely. Oh, looking again. And he's about 5 yards away from the stumps. And, I tell you what, Virendeep Singh is not looking particularly impressed. He was the man at the stumps. He could have taken the ball very easily.
And Puru Singh can only laugh. A good shot, this one. Very good manipulation of the ball from a talented young cricketer. That's Isham Pandey, who's got that away for 6. Back here to his home country of Nepal. The only Nepali batter in this push sports Delhi side. He gets his second maximum. He moves to 18. It's been an important cameo. And all of a sudden, that 140's back on.
Well, absolutely. And this partnership is worth 38 already for the 4th wicket. And it's come at a very, very critical time indeed. We've still got quite a little bit of change, haven't we, in this innings so far. There's still another 7 balls to come. 140 plus looks very feasible.
The only thing we were missing from that rather ludicrous missed run-out chance, or run-out chances with the 2 ends being missed. Brilliant batting this, the way he manipulates it away for 6 by stepping across his crease. The only thing we were missing, Johnny, was the reaction of Bilal Assad, the Malaysian head coach, who I'd imagine was doing something very similar to me and plonking his hand on his head. What have you done, Mohammed Wafiq? Finished with a dot. Good keeping and good carry right the way through. 1 to go. They need 10 from the final over for 140. Surely they'll be able to do that.
Well, indeed. And funny enough, actually, I caught up with the Malaysian head coach after their first game, and he was so disappointed with their performance. He made them run back to the hotel and then dragged them back here for naughty boy nets on their day off. So he wasn't happy with that performance. I wonder what he thinks of this performance.
I'm a big fan of old school things like that. You get in trouble for it these days. If the hairdryer comes out as a coach, you have to have a bit of that within your repertoire. You have to have the times to put the arm around the shoulder and to say to a young cricketer, don't worry, I know you're going through a hard trot. And then there's times you have to use not the carrot but the stick and say, lads, that's not good enough. That's not our standards. Now off you go. It's a kilometre. It's 36 degrees. I'm taking a rickshaw. I'll see you back there. And if you're not back there before me, you're going to be in trouble. Here comes the final over. It's going to be the left arm spin of Virendeep Singh to close things out.
Yeah, Virendeep Singh, well, he's going to have a big role to play with the bat.
Hit into the sky. This should be taken at extra cover. And the captain's got a pretty reliable pair of hands, and Ahmed Faiz clings on to end what's been a really good innings. One captain catches the other. Pathak is dismissed for 39 from 27 deliveries, 3 sixes and 2 fours in there. One of the highest strike rate innings of the tournament. And it's certainly been a really, really critical knock to maybe put Delhi on the brink of the semi-finals.
Well, indeed. Comfortable catch. There's good length, actually, for Virendeep Singh to bowl, because he's a big, tall man. Get it back for length and get that bounce utilised. But it's been a very impressive cameo, as you quite rightly pointed out. 1-3-1 for 4, the position. Still 5 balls to go. And, 140 plus is very much on.
Pranay Prasad going to come in at number 6, up from his scheduled position of number 7. Obviously known for slightly bigger hitting. Gets a pat on the back from young Isham Pandey. Nice to see him in the runs as well, isn't it? Talk of the requirement and the need for a left-hander in the Nepal senior national team. He has had that opportunity back in 2019. I don't want to force a format on him, but I still think the 50 over game is more suited to his technique, his strength. And the only chances he got at the senior level were in the T20I format, so that can often be very frustrating for a young cricketer, being picked in a format that you might not be your most proficient, and then maybe you're ruled out of selection. Oh, they're going to try a second. He's going to be run out by miles here, and unfortunately that's going to be the end of Pandey. He'll be run out for 19. It'll come off 15 deliveries. There was never 2 on there. The throw right over the top. And he's gone.
Yeah, looking to scamper what they can in these closing stages. Coming back for a rather ambitious second. He's going to be run out by miles. Yeah, not even in the frame. The fifth to fall. The fifth to fall.
Yeah, 1-3-2 for 5 the score. And we've got 4 deliveries remaining. Anindo Nahare will come to the crease. He'll be on strike as well. Left-hander will face up to the left arm spinner. And this is the young star, isn't it, who had a bit of a disastrous start in his opening game. Let's hope he can get some runs on the board today. Any realistic chance of Malaysia chasing down what will need to be the highest total of the week? Oh, it's going to be another wicket. Bowled him round his legs. Sharp turn. And we've seen a really good delivery. Just clipped the leg bail.
Yeah, a couple of ducks, unfortunately for the young Anindo Nahare in this tournament thus far.
7 minutes.
And, well, this... yeah, just looking at that replay again. It just clipped the top of the leg bail. He'll be bitterly disappointed. I think he survived just 3 balls in total in this competition so far.
Yeah, disastrous start for the young 15-year-old. He'll have plenty more chances in front of him. Just guilty of exposing plenty of his stumps. And a big smile from the keeper. Long trudge off for the youngster. 9,000 runs in youth cricket in India. Clearly a classy batsman. His time will come. Plenty of years ahead of him, just 15 years of age. But he'll have to take the pads off and get ready for 20 overs of hard yakka in the field.
He will indeed. And yeah, just clipping the leg bail. It turned, got inside the line, but they'll be disappointed with the result.
Need 2 boundaries now to get to that 140, don't we? Can already see Tony lurking in the distance, trying to celebrate a 139. Oh, it's going to be a hat-trick delivery coming up, because Sahara has been dismissed, flatter through the air. All of a sudden, Virendeep Singh's got 3 for 9. I said he's better than just a part-time left-arm spinner. This was speared in. It's probably skidded on with the arm as much as anything else. Hits into the off stump. We've seen 3 wickets in 3 balls. It's a team hat-trick. Can it be an individual one?
Well, it's exactly where you want to be. At this stage of the innings, you want the batsman to be hitting down the ground. If they take it on, it's super stuff. It really is. 3 for 9 for Singh.
Yeah, it is 3 for 9, not 4 for 9. We'll get that graphic corrected. The run out obviously not credited to Singh. But he is on a hat-trick. We've had 5, 6, 7 hat-trick balls now. This might be the 7th, I believe. Are we going to finally see one? Here we go. Big hit into the sky. There it is. It's a hat-trick for Pawandeep Singh. He celebrates like Shahid Afridi. And that's a magic moment. It's 4 wickets in 4 balls from the final over. And we've seen a historic first hat-trick here at the Fantasy Akhada Pro Club Championship. It's gone to the Malaysia 11s, Virendeep Singh.
Well, he's been on a hat-trick ball on 5 occasions. And he's looking for the big Yahoo over on the onside. And it goes off an outside edge or a top edge. And it's a very comfortable take. And what a hat-trick as well. He's bowled really well, to be fair, in this final over. 4 wickets falling in 4 balls with a hat-trick. Magnificent stuff.
Singhal's gone for a duck. It's 1-3-2 for 8. Here's the moment. The hat-trick ball moment. He gets the arms outstretched like Afridi. Nice to have to take the catch yourself. You don't need to rely upon anyone else. A brilliant final over. It's been 4 wickets in 4 balls. A hat-trick and a run out. Could it be 5 and 5? It's going to be. He'll have 4 and 4. He'll do a Curtis Camphor. What a calamitous end to the innings. 5 wickets in 5 balls. The first one a run out. And it's going to be a 5-wicket haul for Virendeep Singh. He's going to bowl 2 overs, 5 for 9. Extraordinary stuff, a day he'll never forget. And it's a double hat-trick to finish. Curtis Camper did it at the T20 World Cup, and it's all happening here in Bairoa.
Incredible stuff from Virendeep Singh. It really was. Just full and straight. Big lash across the line. Another wicket for him. Last time I saw that happen was Jason Holder against England. He got 4 in 4 in the final T20 to wrap up that series win against England. But that was a terrific bit of work. It really was.
Yeah, joined a pretty elite club there, hasn't he? Lasith Malinga, of course, in the 2007 World Cup. Here's a moment where he made it 4 and 4. Full, straight, just a hint of turn. Cannons into the off stump, which goes nowhere. And poor old Sparsh was stuck at the non-striker's end. He's got 5 for 9. There was 5 wickets in the over, not 6. 4 in 4 and a run out. It wasn't 6, I don't think. I'm not having 6 in that. We'll get that checked. Was there a wicket at the first ball as well?
Not in fast ball wide. Then wicket.
It wasn't 6 and 6, was it?
Just look at.
Utter carnage here in Bairoa. Nobody knows what's going on right now. I think the scorer's book has been called into question. Some people are saying it's 6 and 6. I think it's 5 and 5. I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, it's 5 and 5. I don't know. People are getting too excited, aren't they? Here's the. Someone says it's 6 and 6 with. Maybe he has got 6 and 6. Who knows? It's all happening. I think he's got a wicket from the first ball. Then there's a run out. It is. It's 6 from 6. So that over. Well, we're going to have the batting highlights, but we're still working out. We're still working out that last over. Pulled into the leg side for 4. I'm going to leave you to talk through these, Johnny, and I'm going to try and work out that absolute comedy show of a last over.
Oh, gosh. Seeing the highlights here. A couple of shots down the ground. Yes, I have to say, that was too much for my little mind to compute. 6 and 6. There's the first chance for a run out. Quite extraordinary. What scenes we've seen here. A shot down the ground as well.
We'll come to those wickets in a moment, but yeah, the batting effort before the carnage, I think there's only one way to describe it at the end, the carnage at the death, was really good, and good contribution. It's from everyone in the top order. Gupta 33, Agarwal 26, and Pathak probably the pick of the batters with 39 off 27.
Yeah, batted superbly, I should say. And it was a combination of some nice shots and some raw aggression as well. A lovely clip down the ground, just arriving on leg stump and clipping that up and over, and a nice extra cover drive into the piece as well. And that was the bobble that nearly took out extra cover, and that could have been horrible. Ball sailing into the deep again. And this was a very good stage for the Push Sports Delhi innings.
See the tail of that card there? I don't think even the graphics team could keep up with it. There's actually 4 first ball ducks. Poor old. I think it was Sparsh that was left not out at the end. I don't think he was out, so I think that's wrong as well. I think Cricket Post got that wrong too, because I'm pretty sure I saw Sparsh at the non-striker's end at the death. But that has caused carnage. It's the stuff of nightmares for any scorer. Here's the wickets. The first 3 we'll talk through comfortably, and then bear with us as we talk through the death.
Yeah, swinging it out into the deep was Aditya Jain, and he went on that occasion, and then just, bowled.
That was a nasty incident, wasn't it, where he hit the stumps out of the ground. He's going to be in trouble with the match referee. Third wicket to fall was caught in the deep. A very good catch by young Amir Azim, and I think we're just about to see the carnage unfold. Here it comes. So, the first legal delivery of the 6th over, Virendeep Singh to Pathak, caught in the deep. The second legal delivery after the wide from the first ball, that was to Pandey, took on a suicidal second, was run out by Streets. That makes it 2 and 2. In comes Nahare, the 15-year-old. He's bowled around his legs with a sharp turning off break. That makes it 3 in 3. I don't think this has ever happened in cricket before. I've heard of 5 in 5. That was 4 in 4. Sarora clean bowled. Then the hat-trick, the individual bowling hat-trick for Virendeep Singh. Jatin Singhal caught and bowled. The Afridi celebration came out, and here was history. 6 and 6. As far as I'm aware, it's never happened in the history of the game. I'm calling it now. 6 and 6. We do it all here at the Fantasy Akhada Pro Club Championship. And that man, Virendeep Singh, has ended up with the remarkable figures of 2 overs, 5 for 9, a run out to go alongside it, 6 wickets in the final over, and a run because of the wide. What have we just witnessed, Johnny Barron?
Quite incredible. I've never heard of it happen in the history of the first class game, the 2020 game, the test game, the 50 over game. It has to be a first, certainly in a competition like this. Quite extraordinary scenes.
Johnny, do me a favour, old boy. Hold my microphone for me, will you? Here you go. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wickets in 6 balls, only here at the Fantasy Akhada Pro Club Championship. You'll see it all in Bairoa. What a first innings of action. We thought it was all Push Sports Delhi. We had our co-commentator Tony guarantee me they wouldn't get to 40, that it wasn't physically possible. Sadly, for once, he's been proven right. We'll have to give him that little mark. We're going to need a break. It's a well-earned break. And for the Malaysia 11 to stay alive, it's going to be 1-3-3 for win. We'll be back with you with all the action in a few moments.
Well, welcome back to Barua for this second innings of this Fantasy Akhada Pro Club Championship match number 8, and it'll be the Malaysian 11 against the Push Sports Delhi, and the Malaysian 11 will be chasing 133 to win. We've just had the most extraordinary over to finish the match, where 6 wickets fell in 6 consecutive balls. There's a run out in there, and alongside that, 2 run outs. And alongside that, there was a ton of wickets as well. Quite extraordinary. And just looking at that bowler card, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bowlers were used. The star of the show was Varandeep Singh, who bowled that final over. He took 5 for 9 across 2 wickets. Quite incredible stuff. And opening the bowling up from the market end will be Isham Pandey. And opening the batting, Varandeep Singh, of course, who scored that very attractive 63 in that first innings. And, well, the Malaysian 11, Paresh, will be thinking they're in with a great chance. They've scored these kind of runs before.
Yes, they definitely have. Virendeep Singh, who scored 66 of 63 balls in the last match he played. So he'll be looking for a good outing there.
Yes, he batted absolutely superbly, did Virandeep Singh. Real talent with the bat. He's already got 5 wickets, so to say he'll be full of confidence would be a massive understatement.
Well, I must say, it's a not easy chase. Ishan Pandey going to start the proceedings.
Virandeep Singh, as we've seen before in that first game against the CAR 11, has got all the time in the world, just pushing it out on the offside. He's a man of real class, big tall right-hander, talented boy. Driving again on the offside, they'll get through, you think, for a sharp single. And that'll bring Mohammad Nazril on to strike. And actually 133 the target. And again, you know, this Malaysian 11 know how to get to that kind of score. They got 131 in the first game. Was chased down, to be fair, by the CAR 11 with 4 balls to spare. But they'll still fancy their chances here, especially with the flurry of wickets at the end. They've got a little bit of momentum, Paresh, haven't they? That's the key thing here.
Yes, momentum is the key for any in any format of the game.
Pandey, the off-spinner, just turning it back into the right-handed Mohammad Nazril.
I think he bowled with the seam up, the last ball. Ishan Pandey. See again.
Shorter and cut, and that's a good shot. Down through third man. Got inside the line of the ball. Just did enough through third man. That's a nice boundary to start off with.
Beautifully done by Mohammad Nazril. Yeah, you can see he played it so late, getting the side of backward point. He had no chance.
That was a really nice bit of batting. Don't have to go bananas here. The Malaysian 11. They know what it's like to bat through 20 overs, or certainly 19 and a bit. The key thing with this is not losing wickets, isn't it? We can't labour that point more. Lose 3 in the power play, you're dead. Nobody's recovered from that position in this tournament so far. Shot down the ground. Well, that's a fall short, it does. Nazril going for a big one down the ground. He's got it away. Wasn't a million miles away from long on. But another boundary, and that's a handy first over. 9 coming from it for the Malaysian 11.
Look at the replay. He picked it up well, but didn't carry to the fielder. I must say that's a decent effort to stop the ball to go to the boundary, but he was unable to do that.
Yeah, it's one of those absolute nightmares, isn't it? When you're fielding down there, Paresh, because all you're thinking about is losing your front teeth, to be honest, when you're diving forward.
Yes, John, exactly.
And, well, we'll see who's going to take the first over here, or the second over. Vivesh Sarahar is the man entrusted. Just going through a couple of warm-up exercises. Right armour, not coming off a full run, but bowls seam up. Big tall lad hits the pitch as a general rule. Varandeep Singh, a lot rests on his shoulders. He's had a good look at this surface, both with the ball, of course, in that first innings. Got the runs, big score, one of the biggest scores of the tournament in that first game. Real talent. That is a lovely shot from Varandeep Singh, because he's just lent on it outside the off stump. He's opened his hands as well, just manoeuvring it backward a square for 4 runs. And it's a nice bit of timing, Paresh.
And I must say, he had played that on the up. So the pitch, it's a different kind of pitch. It turns a lot, it bounces a lot, and you can even play on the up. All rolled in one.
Yeah, played it beautifully. Lovely talent, lovely to watch. Just seems to have a little bit more time than most normal humans. Oh, that is an even better shot. It's down the ground. Lovely use of the feet as well. And it's a big 6 as well. What a bit of class this is by this handsome looking right-hander. Varandeep Singh runs in that first innings and runs again today. Classy exhibition of stroke play thus far, Paresh.
Yes, exactly. I mean, runs down the track and gives the full face of the bat into the long off region for a maximum.
Yeah, Vivesh Sarahar has, well, conceded a couple of boundaries first up. And he'll concede another one because that's full outside the off stump, and a batsman in the form and class of Varandeep Singh, he's not going to miss out on that either, Paresh.
Yeah, it was a juicy full toss. No one will miss that. Even Lenny wouldn't have missed that.
Yeah, I think Andrew Leonard, he's played a good stand of cricket, Paresh. Don't knock him. He's played List A, Ireland A as well. Varandeep Singh hauling away on the leg side on this occasion. I think he'll get another boundary. Oh, this is a classy exhibition. It really is. Picking up runs left, right and centre. And, well, it's the perfect start in this power play. 27 without loss. Still a ball left.
Vishay Saur proving to be very, very expensive. Varandeep Singh, good batting, excellent batting.
19 off this over so far. And that's another lovely shot. He'll just get a single. 19 off the over now. End of the over. 27 without loss. And, well, this is the perfect start, Paresh. Perfect start. The momentum has shifted in the space of the last 3 overs of this game.
Yes, exactly. Varandeep Singh moves to 20 off 8. And Nazril, 8 of 4. 28 for no loss in 2 overs. A very good start. 14 runs per over.
Yeah, 19 runs conceded in that last over. And that is the most expensive of the tournament so far. Vivesh Saroa was the guilty party on this occasion. And immediately, look at that run rate required. 105 off 108 balls. Suddenly a completely different equation, and wow, it's amazing how a game of cricket can turn. And taking Well, taking the bowling from the market end will be Pranay Sanjay Prasad. And Barandeep Singh will remain on strike. He's played this beautifully, I have to say. Lots of cricket left, though. The bizarre thing is the Push Sports Delhi have left out their best bowler, which is quite extraordinary. That's the thing I can't understand at this stage of the competition. It's worked into the onside. But why? Why? Oh, look, there we go. There is the Australian ambassador who's arrived on the ground, which is fantastic to see her. We'll be chatting to her a little later on in the piece with that delegation from the Australian embassy. And what an honour it is to have her with us here in Barawa. Very privileged indeed to have her presence. Defended quite neatly by Mohammad Nazril.
A good start by Pranay Prasad. Right on the money.
Down the leg side. Another wide. That's always useful, isn't it? Current run rate 12.43.
Yeah, that's a wide. He dragged the ball down to the leg side. He wanted to bowl with the arm.
That's the length. Paresh for the left armour going round the wicket. That's the length and the line we need to see a little bit more of from this Push Sports Delhi side.
Yes, and you'll definitely get turn in this wicket. So that's the length and line you should be bowling to the right-handers.
Well, there we go again. Outside the off stump. And it didn't get up either, didn't bounce. It's in that little area, isn't it? We've seen it all the way with the left-handers so far. Down the track, and he's lucky to get away with that one. Doesn't get to the pitch of the ball, and it's squeezed out on the inside.
Yeah, the intent was right for the batsman. Just not let the bowler settle to a good line and length. That is why he came out of the track.
Oh dear, don't play him from the crease. Paresh, that's the first rule of any sport really, isn't it? You always get in trouble there. At the end of 3 overs though, 30 without loss for the Malaysian 11.
Look at the bowling card. Pranay Prasad 1 over 2 runs, very well done. Ishan Pandey 1 over 9 runs, and Vishesh Sahora 1 over 19 runs given by him. A good batting by Virender Singh. Singh 21 of 9, and Nazril 8 of 9. Both are not out. Not even a wicket gone down for Malaysia 11.
Sparsh into the attack. None for 19 in that first victory. And what have we got? We've got a slip in play. So still attacking in this power play. And the main problem for them is they've got Varandeep Singh, who's going very nicely up at the striker's end. Hitting the ball beautifully. 103 required off 102 balls. Still 6 runs and over is still hard work, isn't it? We mustn't forget that.
Yes, actually they are going 10 and over, but still 6 runs per over required.
Still a lot of cricket in this game, you feel. Despite the momentum shift, a lot you still feel hangs on the shoulders of Varandeep Singh, who's batted beautifully. Sparsh will won't be bowling through the umpire, but his little angle of approach over these left armers. Varandeep Singh looking for the drive again, and one thing with Varandeep Singh, because he's a big, tall bat, he's got a big reach, hasn't he? And he takes a length out the equation.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Johnny.
Driven again nicely into the gap, but there's a man back here at long off, so they'll get through for a single.
Now, the Malaysia 11, they've already got a start. Now, just capitalize on that. Just go through, rotate the strike. Just six runs per over required. Get the first win. Get the points on the board.
Driven again by Mohammad Nazril, who's very much the junior partner here. And yes, 8 off 9 though. Waited for that outside the off stump. Got a little bit of length to have a flash at, but another dot.
If he could have opened the face a little bit, he could have got the gap there. Change in the field.
Yeah, strengthening that offside, aren't they, Paresh? Because that you feel, well, that's where the game, isn't it? The ball's going to be shoved outside the right-hander's off stump. And that's the area they've got a shorter man, haven't they, and short extra cover as well, catching. With one that isn't timed. And better over this. Oh, up and over. That's a good shot. That's a really good shot. Really good calculated batting there. We're just waiting for the call, and it's a one bounce 4. We saw the men in the infield, but he got it up and over, Paresh.
Yeah, look at the replay. Inside out. Beautifully done. Look at his head. So still. One bounce. Over the rope for a boundary.
Calculated, sensible batting. It's all you need to try and get home here. Wow, that wasn't as good a shot, but he actually, in the end, although he got himself in a horrible position, he did have time just to manoeuvre that into the leg side, Paresh.
Yes, exactly. I think that was a good shot at the end. A full Malaysia 11 are 35 for no loss.
Yeah, just looking at that points table. CR11, of course, 2 from 2, so they're out the top there. Push Sports Delhi, well, they've got a win in the competition so far. And the Malaysian 11, of course, they need to win today, and they've got a good start. None from 1. They know what it's like to score 130 and above because they've done it once already in this tournament. 97 off 96. That's still going to be hard work, without a shadow of a doubt. Ishan Pandey will continue.
97 required of 96 balls. Just run a ball.
Yeah, we're lining up for a good game, I think, Paresh. A really good game. This you feel will be tight. Just a gentle push. But the Malaysian 11, 36 without loss after 4. Be more than happy with that position. Quicker one. Good length as well outside that off stump. A flash and a miss from Mohammad Nazril.
Yeah, Ishan Pandey bowling some seam bowling there. Not a spin, but seam bowling.
Well, that's wide. And that'll be runs as well. Couple to the total. Careless stuff all round there, really. Careless stuff. That score will jump up to 38 without loss.
Why do you have to do that when you're mixing the ball, not getting runs, not giving runs, and bowls wide and gives 2 runs?
Well, the man of the moment, Varandeep Singh. who is ticking over very nicely indeed, is the man who's now on strike. Looking for a big expansive drive. That's not the shot, as Pandey goes back to over the wicket.
He's bowling from around the wicket, angling the ball outside off stump.
Oh, it's a horrible looking shot. Varandeep Singh on the angle. Yes, my apologies, Paresh. A very basic error there. Absolutely, the right armour, the left armour going back round the wicket.
Yeah, it was a very horrible shot without any balance. He himself smiles about it. That's pretty well bowled by Ishan Pandey. Only one wide given, and rest of the balls are dot balls.
Yeah, and Varandeep Singh doesn't want to get too frustrated here because he's got such a good start, 22 off 14. And just don't give your wicket away here. It would be absolutely criminal. 95 off 91. Don't worry about that equation just yet. You can still just tick it over. Oh, I think he might go here. It does drop, in fact, safely out to mid-wicket. When it came off the top edge, I thought, oh dear, that'll be the end of Varandeep Singh, but it wasn't quite to be. End of the over, 39 without loss.
Yeah, it came off the top edge. The ball rushed to him. Lucky Virandeep Singh. The ball didn't go straight to the fielder's hand. 1 run taken. It's 39 for the for no loss.
There we see the pictures of Felicity Vogue, who's the Australian ambassador for Nepal, and it's fantastic to see her here attending this event. And just picking up some flowers there from the president of the Cricket Association of Royal Pandey. Oh, more flowers, but they're keeping on coming, aren't they, Paresh? Well, quite
Yes,
right, quite right. It's wonderful to have her involved.
I mean, people around, they are just giving the bouquet to the ambassador.
No, it's great to see her here, and obviously very important ties between Australia and Nepal. And of course, we're honouring the memory of Shane Warne, who very sadly passed away a couple of weeks ago at the tender age of 52. Yeah, Shane Warne, just one of the most magnificent players of all time. Over 1,000 wickets in his international career across ODIs and Test matches. The second highest wicket taker in Tests. Oh, numerous World Cups and Ashes victories to his name. Just the most wonderful, wonderful cricketer. And what a tragic loss that we no longer have him with us. Oh, shot away. Where's that gone? Oh, it's gone for another 6. Wow, what a fantastic shot that is by Varandeep Singh. Warming to his task here. What a shot.
Yeah, he picked that up very quickly. That was hand-eye coordination is very good. Virandeep Singh. That is a 38-6 of the tournament. And look at the pitch.
It's terrific stuff, and this is an excellent power play now, isn't it? 45 without loss after 5.1, and the international side are starting to stamp their class on the occasion. Vivesh Saroa, swing and a miss by Varandeep Singh, looking to lace that one through the offside. There we see the Australian delegation. And Amir, who's put this wonderful show together there in the picture. That's a lovely looking shot as well, because it's up and over the infield by Varandeep Singh, who gets a long half volley. And that is a lovely looking shot again. Another boundary to him. 49 now. Terrific stuff.
Yeah, if you get a foolish ball and half volley, he's not afraid to go over the top, over the infield.
Well, this is it. If you can, take advantage of pace on the ball It's a very risky move by the Push Sports Club Delhi. Oh, he's bowled in with a slower ball. What a wonderful comeback, you have to say, by Vivesh Saroa. Terrific stuff. Took the pace off the ball. Little dart off the seam as well. And the star of the show, unfortunately, for Malaysia, the Malaysian 11, Varandeep Singh, has to go.
Yes, it was gentle off cutter. The ball turned a bit. And the off stump. Unlucky. Varandeep Singh couldn't read the slow ball. 49 for 1 in 5.4 overs. Malaysia 11.
Yeah, and that's a big blow. That's a really big blow. Another sort of 5, 6, 7 overs of Varandeep Singh, and you'd really think that the bulk of this chase would be done. But we know they rely on him heavily at the top of the order. He's got around about 100 runs in the tournament so far. 33 off 19 for him.
Well bowled. Pretty well bowled there by Vishesh. Ahmed Faiz, the captain, comes in to face the music.
Well, just needs to keep his head. That's the key thing here. They've done the bulk of the work. Well, not the bulk of the work, but they've got the work underway. They just need to keep this effort going. Oh, look at that over. Such a disappointment from the Malaysian side. Already taken 2 boundaries off it. Looks a fraction careless now. That's a nice looking shot into the offside. It'll just be a dot though. Oh, a bit of luck there. That has bounced outside the off stump and it'll run away from 4. The 3rd boundary of the over, but a very fortuitous one. Zamahad Faiz gets off the mark. After 6, and the 50's up. It's 53 for 1. Andrew Leonard will join us in the commentary box.
After completion of 6 overs, total score is 53 for loss of 1 wicket.
So the power play is in the can as signalled by one or two standing umpires today. And like you said, Johnny, you just have to be a little careful. It's a flying start, one of the highest run rates we've seen in the power play, going nearly at 9 and over. But that's no use if you don't close this game out. We've already seen there's excellent spinners in this Push Sports Delhi side. Spartan, Sparsh, is one of those.
Yeah, he is indeed. Wow. I mean, how do you play that? That has gone 4 feet. Unbelievable. You can see the foot markings hit.
Reverse sweep. I think that's actually not a bad option given he's hitting with the spin. We're just going to ask our AP1 HD crew to get out the Hawkeye and do the predicted trajectory of that delivery, which would have been in to miss leg stump, and then it's turned so sharply that it's nearly gone for a wide.
Unbelievable. What a ball. Be happy if I bowled one of those.
Nicely bowled. It's kept a little low. I think it's probably hit him outside the line. It's a good decision. Push Sports Delhi convinced that this might have gone on to hit the stumps. I think it would have, but Hasfai's got just outside the line. This one's kept a bit low as well, Johnny.
Yes, it has. It's God, I tell you what, it's kept a bit low, but it hasn't missed that off stump by much, has it? Just pushing forward. It's a nice bit of bowling. Much better, this.
It's the amazing thing about the turn we're seeing. It's not coming from wrist spin. It's not coming from leg spinners and left arm wrist spinners. It's coming almost entirely from finger spin. Even the one impressive little leggy we've seen in Bikram Bhushal, he's not turning it as far as these finger spinners. That gives you a sense as to just how helpful these conditions are for the spinners.
Yes, and always, it's a lovely sight when you see left arm through, isn't it? Left arm through, coming, his line of approach is between the umpire and the stumps. Kind of a throwback to a golden age, I would say. But this is a much better period of control here, isn't it? 3 dots already in this over. And control is what the push 11's looking for.
Down the track, hits into the sky, and he's going to perish. A giveaway stroke. One tends to bring two so often, particularly in helpful bowling conditions. And it's not just one of the openers back in the hutch, it's both of them. Nazril has just chipped it up to extra cover. Not sure that's the correct stroke to pay with the ball turning square. Didn't get to the pitch, and he's ended up lobbing up an easy catch to backward point.
Yes, it's a bit of a sucker wicket, really. And it'll be a real disappointment, and it's not the way to go because the platform has been built here. And actually, if you look at the way in which Varandeep Singh went about his business, he waited for the ball, but just look at this. He's nowhere near the pitch of the ball. It's a hack, really. And it's a very comfortable catch at backward point, and it's a real disappointment for the Malaysian 11 who've lost their second. And I've got a feeling there's a lot of cricket left in this game, without a shadow of a doubt.
End of the 7th, it's 55 for 2. So this game's come a little bit back into the balance, hasn't it? The second wicket's fallen with the score on 55. Flying start from Virendeep Singh and Nazrul Rahman, who got things off to the perfect start. 49 coming in just 5.4 overs, but then 2 wickets and 8 balls. And I'm calling this right now as a coin toss. It's 50-50, Johnny.
Yeah, I don't think there's a great deal between the two sides now, I have to say. If anything, I quite fancy the bowling side. I just think the way in which Virendeep Singh went about proceedings, he looked a class above, actually, a great deal that we've seen in this tournament thus far. And the problem is how much more resources do the Malaysian side have to come.
So here's a classy little cricketer, one to watch for the future. Young Harshvardhan Fogat with his spin bowling will come in from the pavilion end of the ground. And as we're outside the power play, as we so often see, the field spreads. All 5 fielders that are allowed outside the circle are used, and he's going to come in and bowl his off breaks. This has come off the toe of the bat, so it'll just be a single. 78 and 78, or 77 and 77 now after that single. Not being easy to chase down totals here in Barawa.
Run a ball is hard. Seems simple because you know you're going to get some unplayable stuff in there. And when it starts to get to 8 or 9, you're starting to have to take risks, and that's where the trouble comes, doesn't it? The key thing is not to panic. They just need to have overs in hand at the death of this innings, but they also don't want to get stuck. That's the real danger. But still, you look at that scorecard, and the run balance is looking very favourable.
Cut away, but straight to the man at extra cover. What's your thoughts been on the Delhi side? They look like they're very well coached, very well drilled. Obviously, Puru Singh has got a good affinity with Nepali cricket. He seems to have drilled these young cricketers to step up to their first time on an international stage here with the television cameras in tow.
Yeah, I think they're a pretty impressive side. I think they'll be happy with where they find themselves in this game currently. They probably wouldn't have done halfway through that power play, but you know, they nursed their way up to what we think might be a competitive total.
A little bit too full and struck firmly down the ground this time by Fies. It'll just be one. See there in the background the posters to the tributes to the King of Spin, to the great S.K. Warren. And lovely to see Miss Felicity Volk, the Australian ambassador in tow. Going to see if we can tempt her up here. It's been just a bastion of the three of us. I think it's time we had a bit of variety into the box. Do stay with us. We'll see if we can tempt her in. Maybe some of that birthday cake might be left over from Raman. Maybe that might be the way to get her up here.
Safe to say she will be a rose between two thorns, I think, when she makes her way out to the commentary box. Andrew?
No doubt. It's hot and sweaty and sticky and it's not too pleasant right now. Long days. This one's tossed up teasingly. Nicely bowled by Fogat. 5 runs coming from that 8th over. The chase continues to hang in the balance. It's 60 for 2.
Yeah, I think the Malaysian 11 will be pretty happy with that, to be honest. 5 runs and over, to be honest. It's one below the asking rate, but if you get wickets in hand, then you can always change momentum. I think if they keep going at even 4 or 5 and over for the next few, build a platform for the assault later, but I think they're in a pretty good position, it has to be said, with 8 overs gone. Looking at those bowling figures, nothing really to write home about. The only wicket falling for Vivesh Sahara. That, of course, was one of the big ones.
So more spin, going to be spin from both ends of the ground, and a somewhat part-time spin option here. Mayank Gupta will come in from the market end. And see if what he can bring with his off breaks. Sharp turn again. A lovely demonstration, don't you, with the white ball of the seam being presented and seeing which way the spinners are attempting to turn each delivery they're bowling.
Absolutely. Wide of that off stump and turning. Just the key, really, of how to cope with it from a batting point of view is you've got to wait. Got to let the ball come to you. Play it under the eyes.
This one just angles down the leg side. Going to be a couple of wides. 2 nice free runs for Malaysia. Have to remember, Malaysia must win here today. If they don't, Johnny, they are gone.
Absolutely. A lot of pressure on the international side.
You just get a sense that if they end up with a position where the required run rate really comes into play, if it gets up to 8, 9, 10 and over, maybe it's going to be the side from Delhi that'll make it 2 from 2 and finalise our 4 semi-finalists. Malaysia, at this stage of the game, they can't let it get away from them. Got to keep it under 7 and over required. They have to put away the bad ones and pick up the 1s and 2s where they can. And nice to see the crowd continuing to filter in.
Well, they've got the base, haven't they? And they've still got 8 wickets in hand as well. They just need to keep it ticking over, don't they? 5 plus and over, you feel will get them somewhere close.
Beats the left-handed Aziz. He was probably, in my opinion, the pick of the batters in the triangular series for Malaysia. He's got a really good record, often scores at a high strike rate, but I think he'll certainly prefer more batting-friendly conditions. Can he do it in the tougher ones, or has he just holed out so nearly? Oh, look at that bounce over the fielder. He will get back for a couple. And the youngster, 15-year-old, thought he was in the game for a catch. Instead, it's hit the ground and gone over his head.
Yes, and Indo Naharai, Coming in off the boundary, and well, he did enough actually in the end. It's actually a pretty good bit of fielding, but just slightly overcooked it, didn't he?
Beautifully bowled. You could see Aziz in two minds there, wanted to hit down the ground. Instead, he just lets it through to the keeper. End of the 9th over, and the score 66 for 2. .67 to win off 66 deliveries. That's okay. And keep that required run rate in and around a run of ball. It's very achievable. Going to be a change in bowling, I believe. Pranay Sanjay Prasad into the attack. As long as the required rate hovers around one a ball, you think with the international experience that Malaysia have, they should chase this down and keep this group alive.
Well, 67 off 66 is exactly where they want to be, haven't they? The last couple of overs, actually, they've just managed to sort of nudge and nurdle their way to the required rate. Still 11 overs to go, so there's plenty of time for them. 8 wickets as well in hand, all the way through the course of this tournament so far.
Tossed up, and Aziz looks to heave that one into the leg side. He does like to play aggressively.
Yeah, it's the right option, isn't it? On leg stump. Looking to hit it through the onside. I don't mind that. Going with the turn as well. Percentage option.
Tossed up again, teasing it. That's brave bowling, but Aziz doesn't take the bait this time. Just happy to work it into the leg side for one. So, just going to go upstairs just to double check on this one. Pretty sure he's home. That was my initial instinct.
Yeah, I think he's definitely home. Run the bat in. He's in by, well, 3 or 4 frames, but understandably, no need to take any chances. Not out is the call.
Sided matches recently, but can't see this one going comfortably one way or the other. Surely we're almost certainly going to have a final over finish either way, Johnny.
Yes, it looks a belter. We had a couple of good games, didn't we, on the first day? Those are 2 of the best games of the tournament, you would feel, so far. But this has got every chance of going down to the wire.
Down the leg side, that'll be signalled as a wide. And those freebies are hurting the Pushports Delhi side, Johnny.
Well, they are. The one thing they can't afford, really, is any additional sundries.
It down the ground, there's a fielder out there, but it's going to fall well short of him. That's the Spartan. Sparshy balls those lovely left arm spinners. Johnny, we're going to have a guest commentator come after this delivery. Just thank you for your time for the moment. We'll see you a little bit later on, Johnny. Oh, beautifully bowled. So nearly the 3rd wicket. That'll get us to the halfway stage. Stay with us, though, because during the drinks break, we're going to have our first guest commentator. I'm going to have plenty to talk about, so stay with us. 10 overs gone. The score, it's 71 for 2.
After completion of 10 overs, total score is 71 for loss of 2 wickets.
When I told my friends that I was going to be here for this event today, they actually laughed. But the fact is that I'm a great admirer of Warnie, and I know that he was a man who had many different facets to him. But what he did for cricket globally, one of the things that was said to me shortly after Amir Akhtar invited me to come down today was, Warnie didn't belong to Australia, he belonged to the world. He was a global phenomenon, and we are so proud of him and so pleased to be able to participate in this event today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the inaugural Fancy Dhaka Pro Club Championships, and it's very much been dedicated to the great man. Number 23, Shane Warne, lost far too soon at the age of 52 years of age. Not just a great cricketer, a great ambassador for your country. And
just gravitated to a beautiful personality.
A huge personality, I think it'd be fair to say. Gone far too soon from us. May he rest in peace. 52 years of age. I'd like to think, though, that he probably lived 150, maybe 200 years in those 52.
Certainly larger than life, and I have to tell you too that this morning I was at Lumbini, which is the most sacred site of Lord Buddha's birthplace. We lit butter lamps for Shane Warne there, and I felt that he might be there with us. So even if he has left us physically at 52, the spirit lives on. It's certainly living on today in this match.
Yeah, we're in the Lumbini province here, the beautiful city of Barawa. My first time down here. I spent a lot of time in Nepal commentating on cricket, but I've only ever been in and around Kathmandu. Didn't know what to expect coming down here. Tell us a little bit about your experiences across this great country. You're obviously the ambassador. You spent lots of time in the Middle East. This one's swept away, going to be, sorry, not in the Middle East, in Asia, correction, 2 runs to the total, but it's a very special country here.
Yeah, it's special in so many ways. I think that I would encourage anyone now that borders are open, come to Nepal.
Yeah, it really is, and it's not just for the trekking and the Himalayas and the Annapurna and Everest trails. There's much more to this country than just that, and I presume you're based then in Kathmandu. Tell us about that city. It's a wonderful spot.
It is. It's chaotic, bustling, crowded, but full of life. And you step out onto the streets, every sense is assaulted, which is exactly what you want when you have a travel experience. But it also has very gentle spiritual places, Bodhanath, Buddhist, Tibetan Buddhist centre, fantastic restaurants and cafes. There are beautiful forest areas, natural wilderness around the edge of the city. You can get everything that you want in Kathmandu, and then you can travel outside for even more.
Can't you just? This one hit down the ground. Will just be a single. We'll keep half an eye on the action while we're chatting here to the Australian ambassador to Nepal. That's Miss Felicity Volk, who's been kind enough to join us, and you're live not just on AP1 HD here in Nepal, but around the world on Foo Sports on the YouTube channel. It's great to have you, and thank you so much for your support of this tournament. What about the food here, the momos? Maybe some Australians watching on, they're going to ask you, what is a momo? I know how good they are. Can you describe them?
So heaven wrapped in pastry and either fried or steamed, absolutely delicious and served with the most beautiful condiments. But, you know, don't stop at momos. The diversity of food here in a country that has over 100 ethnic groups, and everyone has their own particular culture of food. So you can go anywhere and get completely different food.
It's that sauce, isn't it, with the momos that makes them so special.
Absolutely.
It's like a tomato-y.
Yeah, with little chili.
Yeah, a little bit of kick
bit
to
of garlic,
it, but not too much.
No,
not too
no.
much, not too spicy, very friendly. I love the kote momos, the ones that are boiled and then pan-fried.
Yeah.
They're the ones
so
I
you
adore.
like your oil.
Oh, I do, yeah. Well, as you can see. Tell us a bit about your role, as you're obviously working with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade for Australia, but there's a very close relationship between the two countries that's growing and building all the time.
That's right. So Australia has had 62 years of diplomatic relations with Nepal. There are over 120,000 Nepalis who have made Australia their home. I know that in Tasmania there is a Nepali community cricket club, so a team that plays there. So Nepalis who love their cricket are taking that love with them to Australia. But very deep, very close people-to-people links because of that community. We also have around 50,000 Nepali students studying in Australia at any one time. So a very rich and a very vibrant community in Australia, and then Australians love to come here to travel. A lot of them do go north to the Himalayas. I would encourage them to spend time here in the south as well.
Yeah, too right. Change of bowling here. It's Jatin Singhal into the crease, pumped down the ground for what'll be a single. I won't bore you with the very long story as to why there's an Irishman who spends most of his time commentating on cricket in Nepal. We'll save that for afterwards. But one of the things I will tell you, I'm very aware of the connection between Nepal and Australia, because every time I do an international game for the national country and I say, send in your messages, where are you watching from? The number of messages I get from Brisbane, from Canberra, from Melbourne, from Sydney, lots from Hobart actually in Tasmania, like you said as well. And they'll be watching on at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're avid cricket fans. So there's that great cultural connection, not just between the two countries because of those links with over 100,000 Nepalis there in Australia, but also the cricket that just bonds those two nations together.
Exactly. Any sort of sport, but particularly cricket, brings people together, brings countries together. And in fact, we're really lucky in Australia that we have a Nepali cricketer, Sandeep Lamachane, who is playing Big Bash with Hobart. And so that also is a glue in our sporting relationship with Nepal.
Yeah, I've seen all the lovely images of the huge number of Nepali fans crowding into, whether it be the arena down there for the Hobart Hurricanes, or often in Melbourne where he plays. And I think Melbourne, there's quite a vibrant Nepali community too.
There is, yeah. So I have to tell you about my cricketing story. I do
Please
have
do.
one for someone who
Go
does
ahead.
not know a lot about cricket. I played blind cricket here a few weeks ago. There is a Cricket Association of the Blind Nepal, led by a Lieutenant Colonel with the Nepali Army, and we have funded some of their activities, including developments of manuals about adaptive sports. And so I had the pleasure of joining the blind cricket team for Nepal and playing a friendly match with them a few weeks ago. I have to say, blindfold or not, I didn't need the handicap. I am a terrible player.
And for those who won't know blind cricket, the way the sport works, it's played with a larger ball, and there's bells in the ball
inside, and it's rolled along the ground, so you can hear it coming. Blindfolded or vision impaired, you have your bat close to the ground and you wait and you listen for it to come towards you, and then if you're me, you just swipe furiously and hope that you might hit something.
Great thing about the sport of cricket, it being a non-contact sport, it is a sport for all genders, for all abilities, for all races, and it connects cultures and communities in a way that some other sports do, but cricket seems to tick every single box. Felicity, let me ask you a little bit about yourself. I see from just my little bit of research on you have spent time in Dhaka and Laos as well. How does here in Kathmandu and Nepal differ to those two countries in Bangladesh, and I think it was Vienna 10 that you were in Laos? We're just going to come to that in a second, as this is a huge strike. It's going to go all the way, and the Malaysian 11 needed that 6. It's got it under a run of ball required. I'm going to ask you for your thoughts on how good a shot this one was. Take a look at the screen, Felicity. This is a big hit.
Oh, fabulous.
Big hit, that one, wasn't it? 39 tournament sixes we've had now. It's just the fourth day of the tournament. Big hit, and that's the captain leading from the front. He's going to follow it up with a paddle around to the leg side. It's going to go 6 and 4, and it's big advantage to the Malaysian 11. Come back to that question. Tell me about the experiences in Dhaka and in Bangladesh and in Laos compared to here in Nepal.
Yeah, so I would call myself a South Asian person. I gravitate towards the countries of South Asia. I loved my posting in Bangladesh, which went for about 3 years. A couple of years back in Canberra, and then I was in Laos. Also a brilliant country. But I have to say, being here in Nepal, and it's perhaps to do with the role, it's the fact that I get to do a lot more as ambassador in really good ways. We have around a $22 million development program here. It is fantastic to be able to see that money partnering great Nepali organisations.
And that money, is that very much used to help infrastructural developments, educational developments?
So for us, we're working very closely on what's called subnational governance. Nepal shifted to a federalist structure of government back in 2015 under the constitution that was passed then. There's been a lot of work that we've been doing at the local government level, including to support women's capacity building to become local government leaders. We also work in education. I'll be looking at education projects tomorrow here in the south, and COVID response work, livelihoods development for people who've been really badly affected by COVID-19.
Yeah, it seems to me that, like I said, this is my first real time out of the capital city, but it seems to me like there's great potential in cities like Barawa and others dotted around the country. They just need a little bit of help in their infrastructure. There's lots of ability, there's lots of population, there's lots of beauty, lots of reason for people to come as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's obviously the appeal of coming to a country when it's still in that process of development, but also knowing that if you come back in 5 or 10 years, you'll be coming back to a completely different country that provides different services. I actually think there's a lot of charm to Nepal now. I'd be coming now before it changes.
Absolutely, and I'm going to have to quote you. I think you said it might have been the favourite of those 3 countries that we were talking about. You'll win some home fans. This one's hit into the sky, and it's taken. So the first wicket whilst you've been in the commentary box. It's a really good catch in the deep, and the Malaysian 11 have lost sight of Aziz just when he was looking like himself and the captain were guiding their team home. We've seen lots of close matches. Looks like we might see another one. Look at this, a really good catch in the deep, Felicity. The long on fielder comes in and holds on.
Oh my goodness. Brilliant.
Yeah, first class. And one of the great things about this tournament, it's an international tournament. Sides here from Malaysia, 2 coming from India, just
Bangladesh.
up the border.
So am I getting into trouble with my Bangladeshi friends today?
I don't think you will be. I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry. You'll just win lots of hometown fans. That's all I ever try to do as well. They're passionate and they're also very knowledgeable fans. They just love their cricket here. Before I let you go, we're going to probably wrap it up at the end of this hour, Felicity, but the ties that bond the 2 countries together, do you see that growing in years to come between Australia and Nepal?
Yeah, I'm sure it will. And as I said, it's partly because of the people-to-people links. It's also because I think in a world that's very contested at the moment, and obviously, you know, we're looking at what's happening in Europe, Ukraine, a lot of problems in terms of political security, we have health security issues we're working our way through with COVID. I think the relationship between Nepal and Australia is a really easy relationship because there is so much respect. We're far enough apart that there's no sense that Australia has any particular interests in the region beyond being a good partner of the country.
Yeah, and we've managed to nearly get through an entire interview without mentioning the dreaded C word, but I'm going to have to ask you about COVID. Things certainly significantly better in Australia after what was a pretty difficult period, and also here in Nepal the vaccination program seems to have been rolling out to really great effect, and the restrictions they've rightly been eased.
Yeah, correct. So in Nepal I'm told that the vaccination rate at the moment is around 80%, which is fabulous. It does mean it's much easier to come here. People can come safely. Likewise in Australia our vaccination rates are high. Our numbers, which hit very high figures late last year, have dropped back a bit. Health security is that safety protocols are in place. Hospitals are able to cope well with visitors.
I was here exactly this time last year for the first piece of international cricket to come back, a tri-series held between the Netherlands, Malaysian and Nepal sides international ground there in Kathmandu. And just towards the end of that series, the numbers started to spike and things went back into a lockdown. You've been here through that period. What was it like? Was it very scary? Did you always feel that the local officials, they've done everything they could?
Yeah, all credit to the Nepali health authorities. They worked with a very difficult situation and managed it well. But also great support internationally. There were a lot of vaccines brought in through the COVAX facility, and as a result, we've seen the vaccination rates rise significantly. But a difficult time, yeah.
A difficult time, and our thoughts with everyone who's affected, not just in terms of lives lost, but livelihoods lost, and really a period of 2 years that nobody will really ever be able to forget. And I think it's very good you mentioned all of those vaccines that came in. A lot of European nations, I think America, Australia, I'm sure, was donating vaccines to here in Nepal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a critical part of the health response internationally, and a show of the way we all need to be involved in these responses together.
Global citizens, that's what the modern parlance should be. We're going to let you go just after this ball. I'm going to have to ask you finally, who do you think is going to win? Will it be the Malaysian side or the Delhi side? One cricket question.
I don't even have my glasses on, but so I can't see any of the scores, and I've only just arrived here. Can you give me a hint?
I'd say Malaysia.
I would say Malaysia.
Yeah, good call. I think that's a very good call. And you're unlike my co-commentator, Paresh Lahani. All he does is sit in the fence. He'd never have given me an answer either way. At least you've given me one.
With just a little bit of prompting.
Yeah, let's hope Malaysia get over the line. That is Miss Felicity Volk, the ambassador for Australia to the great country of Nepal. Thank you so much for joining us here live on AP1 HD.
Thank you so much for having me.
So beautiful to have the thoughts of Miss Felicity Volk here in the commentary box. Lovely to meet you, and we'll bid her farewell and we'll get back to the action. 7 overs remain, and Malaysia 99 for 3. I think the ambassador senses that it might be Malaysia who are going to get over the line. I think she could be right. And we'll have to wait and see. 34 to win from 42 deliveries. And we're going to have a commentary change. And we will have a change in the box. I'll be joined by Johnny Barron in a moment. We'll just find where he is. I think he's gone. Oh, he's doing an interview downstairs. Okay, well, Paresh Lahani is going to come and join me very quickly. And the Spartan is going to come back on. Nicely bowled. Oh, a mix-up. It could have been a run-out chance if it could have been picked up cleanly. I'll welcome Paresh Lahani to the box. And Paresh, it was fascinating to hear the thoughts of the Australian ambassador. A magnificent partnership between the two countries, based not just around cricket, but education and health and trade. And they really feel like there's close ties between those two cultures.
Yes, Nepal and Australia, they both have very good ties between them, not only in cricket, like you said. Almost was a run out, a direct hit would have been a run out there. Back live.
Sparsh going to continue. Malaysia, they're in control of this chase. They just don't want to wobble here as they head towards the final quarter of the chase. I think the way they've approached the chase has been really impressive, and that initial fire from Virendeep Singh obviously got them ahead of the rate, and they've never really fallen behind it.
Yeah, because of him and the take full toll of the power play.
Turn on offer for Sparsh, and he continues to keep things tight. He's bowled nicely. Perhaps he's been a little bit underused into his third over. He's got 1 for 9 at the moment. Tossed up, worked into the leg side. Still no single. Quiet over with with just 2 runs coming from it. It'll bring the Delhi side back into the chase. It gets to the end of the 14th. It's 101 for 4.
Johnny's taken it. Okay, can you get me a blank piece of paper? Anywhere. The scorers will have one. Any blank piece of paper so I can start writing. White, any white blank piece of paper. Get blank.
So 6 overs remain. There's the bowlers used so far. 7 bowlers used. The Delhi side following the Malaysian lead, Paresh.
Yeah, 7 bowlers used. Spurs. 3 overs, 10 runs for the wicket. And look at the crowd.
Yeah, not quite as big as yesterday or certainly Saturday where it was packed out. Super Saturday. Looking forward to that grand final next week. Make sure you get on down. 2 o'clock it's going to be on Saturday the 16th of April. I think we'll have a massive crowd for that grand final. Who are we going to have in the final, do you feel, Paresh? Obviously we're going to have the 2 Group B sides we already know that have gone through. That's the Uttar Pradesh 11, joined by the Nepal Army side. Will it be the same in Group A? Maybe 1 home side and 1 away side? The CAR 11 obviously sitting pretty with 2 from 2.
Yeah, maybe Malaysia, if they win today, they have the last match against Nepal Police Club. So Police Club doesn't look good at the moment. 2 played, 2 lost.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, though, they can stay alive through the following circumstances. If the CAR 11 win their final game against the Push Sports Delhi side, they will be perfect. They'll be 3 from 3. And then if the Police Club can beat the Malaysia 11, there'll be 3 sides tied on 1 win apiece. And it'll all come down to the vagaries of net run rate. That's a very good shot from a very good cricketer. A young cricketer who's growing in stature for me. Amir Azim, he bowled very nice. Would you believe it? He did all the hard work. Isham Pandey is a very fit, athletic young cricketer. He's got there and it's gone to the ground.
Ishan Pandey, the head was still looking at the ball. But in the last moment, he took his eyes off the ball. That is why it was dropped.
He did do all of that hard running to get there. But you just wonder, was that the moment that might have given the Delhi side some chance? They're going to come back for 2. Amir Azim needs to get going. This is tight and given. Not out. Won't go upstairs.
Yeah, from here we can see that he's already home. I'm very confident about that.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's been given not out, Tony. It doesn't matter if it was out. The umpire hasn't sent it upstairs. Good running from Amir Azim. He gets back for the 2nd.
Yeah.
Let's look at the replay. See, I said it. But he plunked his bat in. He didn't drag the bat.
Tossed up, pulls into the pad, angling down the leg side. Easy decision for the umpire.
That is the basic thing. The batsmen are not doing it. Not dragging the bat in. They're just plunking the bat in. These were taught in under 10s, under 8s.
Wide ball.
Nicely bowled. Oh, he's drifted down. Sorry, correction. It'd be a wide. Oh, the umpire's nearly cleaned him up. Here we go. Isham Pandey. Put it down. Just his feet dragged at the wrong time as well. He didn't get that stable base.
You can see there, he moved his eyes off the ball in the last moment.
Meanwhile, Mohammad Amir Azim is playing a really accomplished little innings. He's looked in full control. Runs coming from this over. And unless there's wickets, it's game over for the Delhi side today. And it's going to blow this group wide open.
Yeah, the captain playing the captain's innings. 30 of 27 till now.
Big hit into the leg side. I think he's got all of this. And it's going to be all over, she wrote. And Malaysia are going to take these points. There's no doubt about it now in my mind. It's 120 for 3 after 16. And they're on the brink of not just a win, but maybe a pretty big one.
Yes, exactly. It's still 4.1 overs to go. It was a big hit. Slog sweep.
Overhead is level, okay? Overhead is good, okay?
120 for 3 after 16. They need 13 of 24 now.
Number 3 last over.
16.
So here we go. Here's the permutations. Group A, anything could happen. All 4 sides can still go through. And if my maths are correct, no one's guaranteed of going through either, remarkably. The Malaysia 11 will join Push Sports Delhi on 2 points. In second place, I think they may go past them with the net run rate boost that they're going to get as well, which is a real advantage. We'll just go back to that points table as we see this quick single run. He should get home comfortably despite the direct hit. Umpire will go upstairs. Okay, we'll have to take a look at this. I think he's safely home. Paresh, your thoughts?
Yes, looking at the batsman's body language, he's very calm and collective. He thinks he's safe, and I think he's safe, and Lenny thinks he's safe.
Ball.
But I don't know about the third umpire.
Where's the ball?
उसको हातमा छ बलरको हातमा
Yeah, safely home. Umpire just going up to check just in case. But definitely safely home, no doubt about that. So we will go back to that points table in a moment, because I just want to explain those permutations on the final day of the group, which is going to be played across Tuesday and Wednesday. They won't be played on the same day. There's the quick single run.
Only 12 to get in 23 balls. Here are the Australian embassy's dignitaries, the ambassador herself.
Lovely to see all of the ceremonial scarves as well. That's something that's quite traditional here, isn't it? You get given a gift of a scarf as a memento of welcome to you.
Yes, it's traditional.
I think she's watching live there on AP1 HD, isn't she? She's just checking whether the run out was out or not. I think I've converted another cricket fan in Felicity Volk. She claimed she didn't know too much about the sport. She'll be going home and watching the rest of the tournament, I reckon, after this.
Yeah, maybe.
Nice to see as well the Zara Sports and Everest Premier League founder, Amir Akhtar. Mr. Amir Akhtar in the background there. Ever charming, and great to see all the VVIPs in. That's the VVIP suite there. I'm not allowed in there, apparently. They said you're temporarily allowed into the VIP, but not the VVIP. I'm to stick by the rules.
Come on, Lenny, you're accepted anywhere in Nepal.
That's very kind, Tony.
In VIP, in VVIP, wherever. In the Prime Minister's office as well.
Well, believe it or not, I was privileged enough to give a speech to the President last year. I could not believe that. Very, very nervous. I would say, of all the things I've done in my life, that was the most nervous I might have ever been. And she received it very kindly, very warmly. And I do want to say thanks. I've never done this publicly. I want to say thanks to Shahid Afridi for that day, because he sat in the front row. He looked at me throughout the entire thing, and he reassuringly nodded and smiled. I don't think he knew what I was saying, but he was very kind anyway. And the great boom Shahid Afridi. We'll have a commentary change after this. I'm going to get down and get ready for the post-match presentation. Malaysia on the brink. They've been really impressive. I think they're going to take a big enough win to move into third, not just third place, but into second place in the group. They'll go past the Push Sports Delhi side on net run rate. It's been a fine little knock. Good cameo from Amir Azim. I'll pass over now with the score after 17 overs, 1-2-4 for 3 to Johnny Barron, who will stick with Tony Lahani.
Welcome back, Johnny.
Thanks, Paresh. Wow, what a fantastic effort this has been. This game turned on its head from the 19th over onwards. Just a terrific chase, isn't it? 124 for 3 of 17 overs. And this, well, will give them a great chance of getting right in the mix. It just means that there's plenty to play for in the last couple of games in the group. Sparsh will continue. 9 runs off 18 balls. Drive down the ground. They'll get through for another single. And they've done this brilliantly. I have to say, it's been a very measured effort all the way through this card. And Ahmad Faiz has done superbly. Batted extremely well. Oh, big shot. Where's that gone? Oh, it's disappeared for another maximum. Another 6. Well, they're doing this in style, this Malaysian cricket 11. Absolutely fantastic batting.
Yeah, I think this will be the biggest...
The key thing, of course, is the net run rate will be such a factor, you feel.
Yeah, pick it from the off-stump, slog sweep over the boundary for the maximum. And I think this will be the biggest win in terms of wicket left.
And that's speared away on the offside, backward a square. Terrific stuff, and that is it. What a chase that is. Terrific. With 15 balls to spare, they get home with just the loss of 3 wickets. Terrific stuff, you have to say, Paresh, and this has been done in real style.
Yeah, it all started from the beginning in the power play. Virendeep Singh played a cameo of an innings, and that was completed by the rest of the batsmen. Only 3 wickets down. They win by 7 wickets. Hands off to Malaysia.
Yeah, hats off, and let's just look at the winning runs. It's a good bit of batting, actually. And what was the key to that one, Paresh? Was enough bat speed, wasn't it, to get it up and over the infield, backward a square.
Yeah,
that ran away for 4.
Yeah, he opened the face of the bat as well. That is why he got the gap.
Well, they've done it with real style, and after what was a bit of a mixed bag, of course, in their first match. Just posted 1-3-1, of course, the CR 11 chased those down. And then they've come back in real style today. And of course, in the aftermath of that first defeat, they were made to jog home. Were brought back here for Naughty Boy Nets on their day off. And, well, it's paid off, hasn't it? Because it's been a much more rounded professional performance and a very, very comfortable win.
Yes, they have. And even in the first innings, while Malaysia was bowling, the last over yielded 6 wickets. 2 wickets courtesy run out and a hat-trick and 1 more wicket. That's 4 wickets in 4 balls.
I mean, high drama. We couldn't even keep tally of the things up in the commentary box. I've never seen, I have to say, 6 wickets fall in the space of 6 balls. But we've had just about everything in this game, and it's been great because Felicity Volk, who's the Australian ambassador for Nepal, has been here to witness it, and it's been fantastic to have her enjoying. And just seeing the 2 sides here shaking hands on the edge of the boundary in front of all the dignitaries that we have away to the right-hand side. But it's been a fantastic effort, and this Malaysian 11 will be really pleased.
Yeah, and the Malaysian physio is very happy as well, smiling around.
Yeah, they're a terrific spirited bunch, of course. I spent 12 hours with them in the coach, Paresh. As did you.
Not only you, Johnny. Me as well, and Sakar as well. Look at the wicket there. Virendeep Singh. Only 3 wickets to go down.
Yeah, that was a good catch down the ground. And it's the batting highlights that's probably the big package. And just looking at the Push Sports Delhi bowling, well, not really much to write home about. 3 wickets to fall for Pranay S. Prasad. He took 1 for 18 off his 4. Vinesh Sahora, 1 for 33 off 2. Bit expensive to say the least. I think he conceded, of course, that 19 off his first over. And the other wicket to fall was Sparsh, who took 1 for 21 off 3.3. So nothing really to have a good look at on that card, Paresh.
Yeah, Mayank Gupta, you've already said 15 runs per over for Singhal. Quite ordinary bowling, I must say.
So here we have the batting highlights. And that was a lovely tuck away on the offside. Then after this, and that was a good tug down the ground, and just evading the fielder, just diving away to his left-hand side. Then it was the Virendeep Singh show. Lovely shot through the offside. Look at this one, up and over extra cover. That was a shot and a half. What a player of promise he is in front of a crowd that's enjoying the fair. And that was another good shot, lacing it through extra cover, just waiting for it and then standing up tall and whipping it through mid-wicket. It really was a selection of cracking shots for this young man who's got 99 runs so far in the tournament.
This was a terrific shot inside out. And this one also a good pull shot for a 6. Another good extra cover drive over the infield. This was a rather lucky one. Yet another slog sweep for a 6. This one was done very fine, down to the fine leg boundary for 4 runs. This one's also done very well. Yet another big one, gone for a 6.
Yeah, it's a big highlight package because there were plenty of runs and plenty of boundaries. And what was really impressive was the amount of times that the Malaysian 11, while they're the winning runs, aren't they, back to square through the outside. Wickets fell off 6 deliveries, and well, it was stuff of high drama. And we're going to have a little look at that in a second, but it was quite extraordinary, of course. And Virendeep Singh taking 4 of them. And here they are again, Virendeep Singh. This was the first of them, which was caught out in mid-wicket. Good catch, actually, just tumbling forward. That was wicket number 1. And here's the second, which is again in the deep on the offside. Paresh. That's 2 in 2. That's nurdled away on the onside. This will be the run out, I think. Comes back for a couple. And that's out by 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, and the throw was a very good one. Right over the stumps. Ball round his legs. Gave himself so much of room. Again, bowled. This was a easy catch. Cotton bowled. That was a hat-trick ball. Yet another bowled. The last wicket.
And that was it. 6 in 6. Well, it's now time for the presentations, and we'll have the presentations coming up very shortly down below us. You see here is Andrew Leonard with the post-match presentation.
Hello and welcome to the post-game presentation this game number 8 of the Fantasy Akhada Pro Club Championship, and we've seen a really good game between two sides, a very high scoring one, the highest scoring one of the tournament, and the Malaysia 11 have kept this group wide open with a big win over the Push Sports Club of Delhi. We've got a special presentation because we've got lots of dignitaries with us. We are going to hear from both captains, and we'll also find out who the player of the match is. But first, we've got a couple of special tokens of love. So for the first one, I'd like to call upon the president of the Cricket Association of Rupa Hende 11. That's Mr. Harry Bahadur Thapa. You can come in and join me. Namaste to you, sir. I love your topi as well, beautiful. And he's going to present a token of love to Miss Felicity Volk, the Australian ambassador. So, Felicity, if you would come in and pose for a few photos, that would be great. Oh, and we've got another one. Yes, and this letter of thanks from the Cricket Association of Rupa Hende, they would like to thank Her Excellency Felicity Volk, the Australian ambassador to Nepal, for their kind presence in the ongoing Pro Cricket Championship here at the Siddhartha Cricket Stadium, which is being played in memory of the legend that is Shane Warne. We appreciate your contribution for making this event successful and giving your valuable time to grace this stadium with your presence. Thank you so much, Felicity. That's going to be presented as well. Felicity, I've good news. I've more presentations for you, so stay with me. So we've got another token of love. This is going to come from Mr. Harry Adhikari. He's the mayor of Siddharthanagar. So Harry, if you would come up. You're getting showered with all sorts of gifts here, Felicity. And the token of love will be presented and the ceremonial photos will be taken again. Oh, and a lovely scarf to go around the neck. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Adhikari. Thank you again, Felicity. Really appreciate it. Okay, so some lovely gestures and tokens there. Thanks for our real VVIP today. So, let's get on to speak to both of the captains. We'll speak first to losing captain. That's Mr. Murgank Pathak, of the Push Sports Club of Delhi. Just come in and join me here, mate. Disappointed with the effort today? Did you think you had enough runs on the board?
Not much, but yeah, the credit should be given to the openers. We were not expecting them to come this hard at us in the power play. So yeah, well played to both the openers of Malaysia.
You batted really nicely, but the final over, the wheels came off. 6 wickets in 6 balls. It's never happened before.
Yeah, the plan was to score at least 6 to 8 runs, but yeah, we lost 6 wickets in 6 balls. So yeah, this happens sometimes. It's a game of cricket. So never mind.
Final question. It's left the group very wide open. If you win your final game, you'll keep your fate in your own hands and hopefully progress to the semi-finals. Can you do it?
Yeah, why not? Just taking a game at a time. So yeah, we'll think about what we did today. So we'll work on that.
Very best of luck in your upcoming game.
Thank you so much.
That's the losing captain. We'll hear now from the winning captain. And that's Mr. Ahmed Faiz of the Malaysia 11. Well done, Ahmed. Batted beautifully. A real all-round team performance to bounce back from defeat.
Yeah, actually the wicket is a bit tricky for us, and I could say that I give credit to the team from the push. They put up a good score. Our bowlers try to bowl, try on their hard due to the wicket, and then unfortunately we just gave away more runs, and at the end we get the runs back.
Your youngster Amir Azim, he's a real talent. He didn't quite show it in the tri-series, but there with the bat, we just got a glimpse.
Yeah, of course, due to the batting lineup so long, and then of course back in Kathmandu he didn't get much opportunity due to the top of the batsmen doing their job. And of course at the end we're looking forward more youngsters coming, and of course with this one step more forward, and we wanted to see more.
I don't think we can call Virendeep Singh a part-time spinner anymore. 5 wickets to his credit in the final over and a run out 6 in 6. Have you ever seen anything like it?
I feel sorry for him dear, because he don't get much opportunity, even though I have to come into bowl, because the push team have so many left-handers, so we try to re-change everything, try to to restrict them getting more runs, but unfortunately Pavandev will come back strong next game.
Okay, very well done today. We'll see you in a couple of days' time.
Thank you.
It's Ahmed Faiz, a big smile on his face. He's kept the group alive and kept his side alive in this competition as well. I'll call now my presenter for the player of the match. A little bit more TV time for Miss Felicity Vogue, the Australian ambassador, who's going to come in. She'll take the trophy from just behind the presentation wall. We'll always have a bit of a chat about who's going to win, but there's only really one winner here today, Felicity. We'll go in reverse order. In third place, Amir Azim. He made 25 off 20 and bowled 2 nice overs of left-arm spin. In second place, the Malaysian captain, Ahmed Faiz, 39 off 32. But listen to this for a performance, a history-making one. Virendeep Singh, 33 off 19 balls with the bat. But in the final over, he took 5 wickets himself, 6 in total in the final over. The first time it's ever been done in cricket history to finish with the remarkable figures of 5 for 9. He's the player of the match. It's Virendeep Singh. One definitely for the mantelpiece. Thanks again, Felicity. Virendeep, don't go anywhere. Back you come. Have you ever seen anything like it? You've taken 5 wickets yourself, you've had a double hat-trick, 4 in 4, and the team have taken 6 in 6.
Well, actually, to be very honest with you, I didn't know that I took 5 wickets. I thought it was 4 actually and 1 run out. But these guys were telling me that there was 6 wickets in the over, so yeah, I think just a good day for me.
That makes 2 of us. I think all the commentators thought the same. We didn't actually know, but 6 in 6, it's a world record.
Yeah, I think just one of those days. I just wanted to do the job for my team. I think he asked me to bowl the last over, and I just wanted to restrict them for as low as possible. But I guess it just happened for me today.
Finally, you batted really well as well. You got things off to a flying start. You looked in good touch.
Yeah, I think I got off to a good start today. There's some technical changes that I've made from the previous series, and I think it came out well today for me. And yeah, just looking forward to carry the momentum in the next match.
Congratulations today, you'll never forget. The player of the match, Virendeep Singh.
Thanks very much.
So that's going to wrap it up from down here. What a moment for him, the player of the match, Virendeep Singh. Back up to the guys in the commentary box.
Andrew Leonard, thank you very much indeed. Just concluding the post-match presentations from day number 4. 8 games done and dusted so far. And now we'll have a look at the 2 games we've got tomorrow on day number 5. And what should be another wonderful day of cricket, of course. And, well, both there's plenty to play for across the 2 groups. So the first game, and this is a change of the original schedule, we'll see the Armed Police Force versus Talent Hunt CA Dhaka. That'll be game number 1 coming at 10 a.m. We'll be on air at 9:45 a.m. And then the second match, we'll see the Malaysian 11 buoyed off this win against Nepal Police Club. That'll be game number 2 tomorrow. And we'll be on air tomorrow morning at 9:45, and we'll leave you with the highlights.